Computer audio. All right. Peace, 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 love, and light. No. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, love, and light. Please let me know if the audio is coming through now. Give me a one in the chat, please. Let me know if audio is good. Good, 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 good. All right. Excellent. As I was saying when I opened up the program, welcome back to another episode of Know the Ledge Media / Know the Ledge TV. This is the 10-year anniversary for Know the Ledge Radio, though. All right. This is the 10-year episode, our anniversary episode, celebrating this dynamic vehicle, this dynamic platform that me and Red Pill were able to create back in 2010 on this day. All right. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring in my co-host. Okay. You know him as Red Pill. I know him as something else. Can leave that alone. Peace.
You know me as Big Homie. Peace to the family.
Peace, Brother Red. Are you in the building? Are you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you see me?
I don't quite hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, let me see something. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Do you hear me now?
That's what's going on.
Check, 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 check.
Yup.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay. Can you see me?
Nah, I can't see you.
All right, let's fix that. HD camera. See me right now.
You said what?
Said you should see me. The camera's on. I see myself.
That's what's up. I don't see you though. Let me change your. I'm gonna promote you to a panelist. Right. Say something now. All right, allow to talk. One second. Just give me 1 second. Allow to talk. More. Promote the panelists. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Just troubleshooting for a second. Getting this thing together. Okay. Allow to talk. What's going on? Promote the panelists. Red Pill will be joining the webinar as a panelist. All right. Just give me a second. Audio was good. Yeah, I'm trying to. Would y'all hear him on your side? Because I don't hear him. Okay. Boom. I see you back in the building. I don't hear you.
Yeah, here we go.
Right.
Loud and clear.
All right. That's Turtleneck Red. I read something about him on the post.
You see Turtleneck Twin, just know that there's a bag. Yeah. So just know that you're getting top cloth.
Yeah, when Turtleneck Twin pops out.
That's fine linen. That's good cloth. I'm talking about. Nah, it was good though.
You know, I'm here. I'm in the building. I was on this platform less than 24 hours ago with Tough Talk Tuesday, episode 21. I had a show with our brother Ken, and then we brought Tyreek Bay from Destiny Grind in the building. He did a and a 2020 reading using the I Ching
I think.
divination system.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was amazing. Do you need a rehashing of the program, or you good? Or nah?
I heard you going in.
Yeah. So, and today I had a distinct honor of attending the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Legacy Center.
Whew.
You know, the Legacy Center is the brainchild of Jay Morrison and his wife Ernestine,
Ernestine.
and it was made possible by the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, um, which comprises over 1,000 plus micro investors.
Yes.
And that program was made possible by an initiative, a policy put in place during Obama's presidency. Um, I know another melanated entrepreneur that has taken advantage of that program as well, a young lady by the name of Dawn Dixon, who utilized the social media crowdfunding to crowdfund a million plus, I think it was 1.5,
Yeah.
for a blockchain powered vending machine service that she came up with. Um, so these are people who have utilized these programs, and also the the Legacy Center is a testament to the utilization of the program set in place by Obama, which was social media crowdfunding, right? Which I'm sure that you could tell us a lot more about, because that's part of your research and you talk about that in your lectures a lot. And
Yes.
then also,
2012
yes,
Jobs Act.
the equal opportunity zones that Trump made possible through some legislation that he pushed through. The Legacy Center is a combination of utilizing both of those initiatives that were made available and possible by the latest two, custodians of government. All right.
Yes, indeed.
Um, so yes, he was able to pop that off. You know what I mean? And I was able to watch the people, the investors, the believers, right?
The believers.
And this is what he refers to them as. They're the believers. Our
How
brother Jay
powerful that is.
Morrison, huh?
You know how powerful that statement is, though, because in the TV show American Gods, it explains what the power of belief is,
Yes.
and the fact that there are multiple religions that exist, you know, based off of the fact that somebody believes in said religion. And as long as you believe, as long as you have a belief of something, then you could begin to have faith in that thing. And you begin to empower said thing with your beliefs, because all is mental. So your belief in something is actually what makes it real. There are realms. If you speak about the multiverse, or you speak about the quote unquote many universes that exist, the endless dimensions, well, God damn it, there's a planet where Thanos is out there snapping his fingers. There's a planet where Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader are going at it. There's existences because that's what you believe. People believe in these things. There's multiple versions of Jesus because people believe in that. That, once again, like I don't mean to the American Gods 3 that I just finished doing the other night, we went over the power of, what these belief systems are. So to have believers, that translates to the 1,000 true fan theory, right? There's a few formulas that use that concept, that if you have 1,000 people that believe, man, oh man, imagine what you can get done. And that
Yeah.
brings us to where we are tonight.
Yeah. The brother, what's the brother's name? Who really makes sense of that? Ryan Leslie, right? He
Yes.
has a whole entire system to show you what you can do with them numbers. Right?
Brian Leslie, the musician.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he has the phone based the super phone.
Oh, the suit where he gives out his number. Exactly.
Yeah, where you can curate, you know what I'm saying, your following, your clientele, your customer base. And he said that Nipsey leveraged that initially, you know, when he was doing the thing.
He did the what did he call it about the fan?
Oh, proud to pay and all of that.
Proud. So look at the genius in this. Proud to pay is the seeding. It's the seeding process of the eventual 1,000 true fan base that he actually built. How did he begin to build, and how did he prove that he built it? When he did the $100 mixtapes.
Right.
He proved, you know what I mean? Like you say, you vote with your dollar in the capitalistic system. So he proved through those sales that he added value, right? Because value is only what we agree to what it is. That value is you create value out of thin air. If I say this is 5,000 and you know that the boy is drippy, you like, yeah, that's 5 racks. And it could have been $5, but that's the power of branding, because you believe in the brand, you believe in the God, or you believe in the deity, or you believe in the story that they tell you. You believe in the red, white, and blue. You know?
Indeed.
Yeah.
But look, man, you know, some of the people, you know, they might just be pouring in. I don't know how far they go back with this program. You know what I'm saying? But there was a way and a ritual that we utilized,
Yes.
you know, to inaugurate and bring in the energy of this program. You know what I mean? And I don't think that we would be doing ourselves a service or even the audience a service if we kind of skip that process. Like we should take them through that process.
Oh, carry on tradition.
Yeah, we need to carry on tradition. Even though this is a Note Alleged media show, we are celebrating and inaugurating the 10-year anniversary, the continuity of this particular platform that is responsible for so many things that you can't really gauge it, you know what I'm saying, with mundane measurements. Niggas be like views and shit like that, likes and all of that. That those are the things that determine a person's validity or actually their purpose or impact in this movement. So, you know what I mean? That's not how you could sum this thing up. You feel me? So I'm gonna let this thing rip and then we'll get right back.
Quite a good scene, isn't it? One man crazy, three very sane spectators.
If you stripping to get through college, instead of Gucci shoes, spend a few chips on the knowledge. You need to know the ledge. This is not the time for blowing bread. So it's said. You are now rocking with the best. You know it's red. You know it's blue. We wishing you the best. You know it's true. Out of murky waters, the lotus grew. Out of murky waters, the lotus flew. 50 cents soda blue. Look at what we doing with the knowledge. We developing a cyber college, building a machine with these cyber dollars. We brought you the highest, greatest scholars. To water your minds with alkaline seeds of knowledge, to resurrect the lost city in the sea of knowledge. I'm from the Brooklyn Zoo with a sign spread. Don't feed the scholars, know the ledge. Every Tuesday and Friday, at least 2 hours. Broadcasting from ground zero, superheroes, the new Twin Towers, red and the blue, the new Jack Bowers. 24 hours of black and more power. Hotep, Islam, peace, God, shalom. Welcome home. No one man should have all of that power. Return of the superhead rules in this age of Waterbury. We in the matrix, auto staring. Hydroplaning down the information highway. Hanging out the window, shooting at the agents sideways. 9 p.m. Tuesdays and Fridays. It's Tuesday. If you coming at it sideways, you can say I did it my way. The good Dr. Sinatra. I'm Bojangles, the fallen angel. The church is Satan. When we gonna see the church debating, the earth's awaiting. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the earth is shaking. We burn the nation, we percolating. We easy to swallow. The information is hard as hell. The bills is the circulation. Impersonations, hard to tell. This verse is hating. Somebody go run, tell Gargamel.
Oh, please don't be frightened.
Hey!
Sorry about this.
I bring my life to the table. I bring my wife to the table. I bring health, wealth, knowledge, yourself to the table. I bring no to ledge TV to the table. Conscious cable. I bring no to ledge radio to the table. Conscious radio. Conscious Wikipedia. I bring DVDs, books, no to ledge media to the table. Killing fables to the families of the royals. I bring Kings County to the table. Restore the royalty. The melanated Clark Gables. Social culture to the tables. The superhead moves to the tables. I bring 7 heaven sea balls to the table. Soul water to the tables. Red and blue, the big daddy came. Ready, willing, and able to walk into my stables. Full link sables. Back from the future like Bishop in Cable. To introduce the freshmen to the X-Men. In all of their candy excellence. No question, class is a session. Report to the chat room. Hit it at a hand. You wanna be there early and beat the caravan. People storming the gate to get a plate. The lines packed like the Happy Land. Either open up with the latest cuts or the rap tools. They're bumped by the latest trucks. From 9 to 11, we do it in the dark like we used to do it in the park for the most part. For the very second that the show starts, you're witnessing a pose off, think Mozart, huh? The love received so far has been so hard. There's a few dudes to front, but they medulas ain't sharp, that ain't so soft. Don't be thrown off, they be so long. Avoid them at all costs, like raccoons or skunks. Go back to the regular scheduled program. The program is sponsored by 7 Heaven. What else in hell can you get an open line to heaven at 11:11? Emerge at the other end of those meditation portals. It's elevated mortals, even some immortals. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Press 1. For everyone else, thanks for attending another session. I'm pleased to teach, but it's an honor to learn. Certainly, courtesy of KTL University.
Oh, please don't be frightened. I'm terribly sorry about this. You are?
And the way that we end that off.
That bomb.
Wait, what?
Hey, family. You are now rocking with the best. This is your host, the Blue Pill. You are tuned into Know the Ledge Radio. Peace to you and yours.
Ha!
You're watching Battle Rap's World Leader.
Look, I'm living out my rhymes. How about it? And I'm talking about. How about I'm living out my rhymes? I'm Kirkson, the baby.
I mean, I convinced you would. You know, this is the shit that I used to tell you about 10 years ago. So, yeah.
What, you wrote that for me? You wrote that for me? Hold on, Drake. You wrote that for me?
What happened?
Stunner for Vegas. You wrote that for me? This is the baby. The baby. This is the baby. Baby Jesus. I'm saying I wrote those rhymes. I wrote those bars 10 years ago. Facts?
Mm-hmm.
When I wrote them, I was already doing half my rhymes, right? But then 10 years later, when you listen to the song, it's fine wine because I'm like, oh shit, I'm living out my rhymes. That's all. That all. You know?
Yeah.
I bring things to the table. I still bring, you know, the table is still packed. So nah, I wanna, damn, that was nostalgic right there. You know, that brought me really back to a real interesting time. won't you say, Blue, 10 years ago to this date, the day that we first launched our first episode on January 8th, 2010, on a prophet's birthday?
Yeah, God.
You know, do you remember that moment? What did that feel like? Like,
I remember we was on 129th in
yeah,
Lenox, right? I remember the room I was in. I remember the what the room looked like,
the
the tint
decor,
on the decor of it. You know what I'm saying?
Harlem decor.
I think I had something in the room with me, so I was trying to get off the phone quick. Like, yo, this is it was like an
Get through
hour.
this. Yeah, talking about. Nah, but
You know,
the
but
way that
yeah,
it came together was real mystical.
yeah, I remember it was a need, and I listened to that program earlier, you know, and I was reminded, you know what I'm saying, that we initially inaugurated that program because the initial evidence of Drew Ali hatred started manifesting and showing itself, you know, and
Yeah, it was Australian for a minute. It was getting Australian.
it was getting Australian, and they always have a tendency to attack when there is disunity amongst the house. So I remember, I had been um brought into the information around '01.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time it was new to me, it was already old. I wouldn't say old to some people. What I'm saying is that conflict, you know what I'm saying, has a tendency to wear you thin a lot
Mm-hmm.
sooner than your normal years. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like Iran ain't been in that how many days? They want more smoke, right?
they're having the worst week ever.
Yeah, they having the worst week ever. You know what I mean? A day in and they like, I'm good. They all smoked out. So
No, they had an
conflict
earthquake and a plane crash, depending on how you want to see it, though.
in a stampede.
And a stampede, but depending on how you want to see it, an earthquake near a nuclear plant, it could be some nukes going off, you know, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
I said this the other day. I said, you're gonna see, you know, this country fight the war unconventional in ways in which you've never seen it because they spent $2 trillion. They have a different level of weaponry. And as much as because the conspiracy theorists will love to award them Haiti earthquake and all of these other things, but the minute that you are saying, oh well, they're showing and showcasing and pulling out, like, look, if y'all really, yeah, all of your air flight is dead. You know what I'm saying? Look, let's not get into that because that's going to lead into something else, and that's not the program that I want to do.
Definitely.
But they was attacking Drew Ali, or they was getting ready to attack Drew Ali. So we had to pull a panel together and start the program to edify what the meaning of Drew Ali actually is. And I don't think that that has received enough attention and enough justice, even in today's day and time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to even get into what my feeling is about the Moorish movement in this present day and time, but if you can imagine, there was a momentum in 2010. You know what I'm saying? There was an energy behind it. Shout out to Murrah Kush and the Moors in Court. Shout out to Raz Mariah Bey. Shout out to Taj Tariq Bey. Shout out to Ms. Ryam. Shout out to, shout out to Asir. Shout out to Aline Bey. You know what I'm saying?
Bey, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to my elder Amir, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the Moorish, what was my Temple Assault #1? You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to True Master.
Shout out to
Uriel Bey.
Shout out to Uriel Bey.
Shout out to Azariah, because he did a lot of things.
Shout out to Yafa Bey.
Shout out to Africa Bambaataa for what he did, opening up doors and stuff like that for different classes to take place.
Yeah. So there was a lot of momentum at the time, and it kind of got knocked off because of the infighting, and people were able to see ways in which to infiltrate and move because all empires are taken down during periods of during periods of infighting. So the momentum was building up to something that never actually manifested. You know what I'm saying? Because it got, people started going at each other, and I couldn't even tell you today exactly where it's at or what's going on. You feel me? So we kind of wanted to put the signal up, you know, and let them know that that disrespect was going to be met with a scholarly response. You know what I'm saying? Like the young brothers were saying yesterday on Brother Richard's channel, utilizing the ideology of Elijah Muhammad, the messenger, putting the clean glass of water
Dirty glass.
next to the dirty glass. So Know the Ledge became the um the the platform or the stage, you know, upon which you lay the clean glass. And we went out and we found clean glasses to let the students and the children and the supporters of said systems, whatever system that was, speak for that system.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because none of these systems are corrupt. The information is not defunct or debased. It's the people who are inherently broken who come into the systems who then try to express the systems through a schism of niggerism. You dig what I'm saying?
Facts.
Or a prism, a schism and a prism of niggerism. And then people judge said system from that place. That's not what the prophet didn't stand for that. You can't put that on the prophet. You can't put that on Elijah. You can't put that on Marcus Garvey. You can't put that on them. These were noble men. These were upright, noble men. You feel me? If Negroes and niggas come under the banner of their greatness and usurp the information and use that as a cloak, you know what I'm saying? Those are still wolves in sheep clothing. Don't blame the wool, right? Don't take it out on the wool. You know what I'm saying? The wool does what the wool's supposed to do. It comforts and it conceals, right? Your issue is with the wolf underneath that fucking wool, right? And niggas never get around to the wolf. They shed the garment of the sheep, and niggas will sit there and pee on the garment of the sheep and conflict with it, and the wolf is in the corner smoking a fucking L, having a laugh of their life because niggas are scared of the wolves. You dig what I'm saying? So let me tell you exactly what Drew Ali stood for, because I was reminded when I went back to this program that this is how we used to open up, same way that the meeting's supposed to be open. This is what we opened up our inaugural show with. And it was a divine warning by the prophets for the nation. And this is not a recruitment episode for the Moorish Science Temple of America or Moorish Science. This is to explain to our people in this day and time, because we still are conflicted with identity issues and nationality and status issues. How can I tell? Because of what took place last week with Iran. One, it shows that the normal, regular, quote unquote, African American has no idea about Islam, ancient Islamic history, the relationship between melanated people and Islam, and the relationship of your ancient history in the East, and you have no bearings of understanding about your citizenship in this country, your nationality, or your status, right? And the fear that you express by way of the draft directly speaks to the fact that you are conflicted by this identity crisis. So it's still an issue, and it's very still relevant and very still real, right? And people have taken a break and they've taken a foot off the neck, and a lot of other dogmas and conversations have slipped in place of it, but we bringing the information back, all right? So a divine warning by the prophet for the nation, because everybody else want to talk about their messengers and their message. So this is a divine warning by the prophet for the nations. Okay, and this is law from the prophet Drew Ali. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitutions, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. All right. Where do we see evidence of this at? Right? Because like I said, we've taken a break and taken the foot off a little bit, taking the foot off the gas. This still applies to Negro, blacks, and colors. Okay? And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that delude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind, to their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine right as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government and not under a granted privilege as has been the existing condition for many generations. What are these niggas is lining up to do this year? Anyway, what are they gonna forget it? You would doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people. Go to those that know law in the city hall and amongst the officials in your government and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply, for they are glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national standards and power that makes a man and a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce, belong to the citizens alone, and without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for free, a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine standard, because day by day, they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles become because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name. Because they place their trust upon issues and names formed by their forefathers. The word Negro deludes in Latin language to the word nigger, the same as the word colored deludes to anything that is painted, varnished, or dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy forefathers and thy mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have never been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth that are recognized by said national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendments brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at the time without power within the constitutional body of power, with the constitutional body of power. And at the time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be free and equal, since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvations of our people and citizenships. Now, let me just stop there. It's interesting that this conversation was just being had in public, right? And they admittingly said, you know what? You know that there's two constitutions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had to make a second one for Negroes, you know, to bring in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment. You know that they've been having this conversation in public. Yeah, Claude Anderson said that, right? On live national TV.
Breakfast Club.
You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let me finish. And then you had Byron Allen talking about the other civil rights laws. You know what I'm saying? So there isn't but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statements. Look at this Mandela effect and catch this one. You ready? Then the lion and the lamb can lay down together in yonder hills. You know they changed that in the Bible already, right? Right.
Yeah. You said they changed that in the Bible.
You know they changed that in the Bible? Yeah, it's no longer the lion and the lamb in the Bible. It's the lion, it's the wolf and the lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a Mandela effect.
Look, yeah, we're gonna go and have a whole nother conversation. Christians, you should be ashamed of yourself. Y'all should be storming whatever department of whoever. They done switched up so much stuff under our nose in the last few months or years with the Mandela effect. The Bible no longer says lion and the lamb. It says the wolf and the lamb. Anyway, so Drew Ali in his statement says, then the lion and the lamb can lay down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of the world. But if the above principles are not carried out by the citizens of my people in this government, the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people, and this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of the government, being more wisely prepared by more genius citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know is not the true and divine way. And without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc. In their present condition of their endeavorment, in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world, they will not refrain from their sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses. But I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light. Okay. And this is from the prophet Noble Drew Ali. This is called the Divine Warning by the prophet for the nations. And this was divinely prepared by the Noble Drew Ali. okay, by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And this has been mandated, or it was mandated for all temples to open up all of their readings and proceedings and meetings with this declaration and this warning. And the temples don't do that. You know, and many people have never heard this. You dig what I'm saying? But this is who the prophet was. This is what the prophet stood for. The prophet brought civics. The prophet spoke about nationality, right? The prophet told you that you are not in your national descent. Your name is a motherfucking, you know, it's a badge of slavery. It's a sin. It's a weight that you can't get up off you. And you continue to be disrespected, discombobulated, you know what I'm saying? And this everything else under these particular titles, you know. And with all that being said, you feel me? And with all that information and with all that strength, you know, today I still bore witness to something that broke through the algorithm. And I have to be very honest about that, you know what I mean? Because I just came from the ribbon cutting ceremony for the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, right? They opened something called a Legacy Center here in Atlanta. You feel me? And it was spearheaded by the brother Jay Morrison and his whiz, you know. And my understanding is that brother is a Christian. He had Pastor Brian up there. He did the ribbon cutting ceremony, and he said that he's an attendant of the brother's church. He acknowledged him as his pastor.
Okay.
But I was asked, huh?
I said, okay, I can see that.
Yeah. But at the ceremony, you know, they had Muslims there. They had Moors there. Members from the Ifa Yoruba community was there, right? It was a true picture of the nation that Drew Ali speaks about. Now, everybody there wasn't in their improper persona. They weren't in their national descent, but goddamn, they just got something accomplished that is paradigm shifting and monumental, and I gotta salute that, right? And it mattered not what name they came in, you feel me? They came in the name of unity, unified as a unit and a family, because like I said, this was the first individual, rather than complaining about government, this individual utilized the two greatest things that was left by both administrations to make America great again, right? Obama allowed crowdfunding on social media, right? So you can now trade like how securities and stuff like that do. And
Equity crowdfunding.
Trump was responsible for, equity crowdfunding is what Obama was responsible for, and Trump was responsible for equal opportunity zones. And he also, whoever's responsible for the farm bill needs, you know what I'm saying, needs to be acknowledged, because that is your reparations. That's paradigm shifting. You can close the wealth gap with these vehicles. So Jay Morrison took policies from both administrations and put them together, and now he's been able to furnish something that is an edifice, a building, a demonstration, a 30,000 square foot building that combines workspace, and they got you know, film studio and great, you know, just the potentiality of what can come out of a location like that that's down the block from the Tyler Perry studio. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm just saying, you know, that was a powerful demonstration, you know what I'm saying? And the brother was able to do it with over 1,000 people who funded it. So I'm able to see in real time that, the shit that the Moors been talking about for 20 something, and these brothers have the ability to snatch property with paperwork. You know what I'm saying? And I just hear about glorified niggas that squat in properties, but no one ever snatched the property and turned that shit into nothing for the community.
Facts. And for the
you know what I'm saying? Nobody snatched the property and put the homeless in it. Nobody snatched the property and because they was
Yeah,
living
work
rent free for X amount of years,
made it a work
fucked around and bought and got the rest of the block. You know what I'm saying? Like no one turned none of those edifices into industry, right? So there has been a serious lapse on industrious mores, with the exception of a few brothers that are out there and sisters doing their things. I don't know everybody's name because every time I travel to a new town, I hear about someone that's in the wind or in the shadows working, not online in front of the camera.
Shout out Abundance.
You know what I mean? Shout out Abundance Child, shout out Hellraiser. Miracle Society is still pushing through. You feel me? And there are other people that are out there that I'm sure will get their honorable mentions throughout the night. So this is not dismissive of everyone that comes over that under that cloak and banner. You know what I mean? But we need to take stock and look at what real unity can produce, because the power is truly in the people. Now, like I said, I go through my people issues. You feel me? I go through my people issues, like, damn, it's very hard to bet on the people. You got to bet on yourself. This shit can be brutal at times. You know what I mean? And what you was talking about earlier about faith and belief and the fact that these things have religious connotations. So once people remove them from their lexicon because they're so traumatized by religion, they never revisit these concepts. But what can you have without faith and belief? You don't fucking come into this world knowing anything, right? So how can you get to knowledge and gnosis without going through faith first? So this, once again, you throwing the whole fucking book out, the whole baby with the bathwater, and what foundation do you have left to stand upon? So the niggas you could talk all that conscious unity shit all you want, and we could get some niggas together in the, let me not call them niggas, we could get brothers together in the room, and we could get the brothers together on the stage, and you know what I'm saying? We could get brothers to take pictures and all of that. But where are the units that are building out the legacy centers? Where are the units that are building out these, these edifices of education, institutions?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? Because in my humble opinion, proper persania is when you show up and you're in your higher, self, you're functioning with a clear mind, and you're unified, and there's a unified principle that you're sharing with the people that you come in contact with, and you actually build something. I feel that the people that showed up that were the believers in Jay Morrison, they're in their own way. They were in their proper persona today when they showed up for the ribbon cutting ceremony, because something that they believed and they invested in, right? Because you invest in what you believe and have faith in. And then when what you invest in begins to manifest the idea, because you're given a vision. He sold them a vision. He shared an idea with them, correct? Similar to what the prophet is sharing in his divine warning. He's painting a picture. He's sharing an image for you. And if and once you hear something like this, and that warning hit real hard, and it hit differently, like they say in the streets when you read it, because of where the nation is right now, on the brink of, since 2012, I believe. If there was a time before that, you could say it. But after World War II, there's been talk of a World War III, real heavy in not just the media, but in the ionosphere, right? Those thoughts have collectively gone out
Since
there.
the ending of World War II, there has been conversations, wars and rumors of war ever since then. So our generation, right? Because it's no secret, goddamn it, I'm 44, so I was born in 1975, which means that we lived through the Iran-Contra crisis, right?
Yep.
We lived through the Iran hostage crisis. We are more familiar with the Ayatollah than we care to be. Why? Because he was on TV every single day in the 80s. Not Saddam Hussein, Ayatollah. right?
was the final
Iran was in
boss.
Iraq kicking their ass, right?
Yeah, he was the final boss.
boogeyman. He was the final boss, right? No one. So I grew up with the 444 days of the Iran hostage crisis with Reagan and Jimmy Carter and all of these. Like I remember all of that, like it was yesterday. Iron Sheik, right? I didn't know about Iraq until the 90s when they was bombing shit. We always knew about Iran. We learned about Persia, Xerxes. 300. Y'all forget so quick.
Yeah,
what did Perseus look like? Huh?
He was a
You love talking about 300. What did the Persians look like in 300? They was the Moors.
That's right.
You don't remember the scene when they kicked the nigga in the hole?
That's right. That was a Moor that he kicked in the hole. Xerxes' army in the movie 300, director Jack Snyder. You know, the movie that we all saw. That's a myth about the Roman, the Spartans, the Greco-Romans going against the Persians, the Iranians, but he had Moorish armies with him. The man that he kicked down the well, the one who brought the letter.
So this is unapologetic at the end of the day, because it goes back to when I was preparing for one of my lectures earlier this year, and I had to go and look at all Bobby and all Phil's from 2000 and 2001. And Bobby and Phil they was giving the divine warning back then. 9/11 has everything to do with them finalizing this Moorish crusade, right? It's about Moors here. It was about nationality. It was about your status. It was about them tricking you out of your trick bag. This is the time when we see the culmination of it happening, because we're coming around to that 20-year window. So you have to know astrology to understand what these cycles, what does a 20-year window represent, right? Shout out to Ross Ben. Saturn conjunct Pluto, that's going to happen on January 12th, right? In a few days. These are 33-year cycles. What does Saturn conjuncting Pluto means? It means controlling Earth's resources. Why you think they have armadas and fleets in Iran right now? They rocking you to sleep and saying, oh, Iran want a peace treaty and they don't want no more smoke. No, keep your eyes peeled. If you want to be, astrological, cosmological investigators, but look, if you want to be investors as well, and you want to get your bag up and you want to put your money in some gold and see your shit jump and flip, make sure that you have some money in the market around the 12th, because they're going to go for Earth's natural resources on the 12th. So these things are not hard to predict and see, because they all follow cosmological patterns. They can't do it any other way. You understand? Right. But
especially on that scale.
Right. So 9/11, like there would be no Trump without 9/11. There would be no Obama without 9/11. There will be no Bush. We are living in a post 9/11 world. Do not get confused. Any and every time that you see something happen, go back to 9/11, right? That is all it's emanating from, the war on terror. This is all a result of it. Your presidency is a result of it, right? Of terra firma. He was a birther and a truther. And he's the 44th president, goddamn it. Well, we're gonna get into that. So that's why it's so important to remind you and to keep you abreast of what the conflict is all about. And it goes back to an ancient battle. You know what I'm saying? This is not about Moors in America with fezzes on. It's not what we're talking about, right? Even when I did my research of Santa Claus, this shit goes deep. Even Santa Claus is Center Claus. Center is an alchemical process of when they're burning the mineral and stuff that's smeltering. They're going into the smeltering process. And the remnants of center is soot, right? Hence the fact that if you even go to Wikipedia, they'll tell you this war Pete is from Moorish Spain. They say he's a Moor from Moorish Spain. And Santa Claus or Center Claus comes from the Dutch, who had direct contact with the Moors at the time. So these are all alchemical stories of how they're transferring lead into gold. which is the alchemical story of the sun being in the box in Saturn, right? In the end of Saturn going into Capricorn, led Saturn, right? And coming out of the box and being exalted into this glorious station in Leo, sun,
What's the
right?
-- 1 song right now?
In the summer solstice, hold on, in the summer solstice, of which this year there's going to be a solar eclipse. Same way that I told you, the sun, the Christ has risen. The day after Christmas, it was a solar eclipse on the 26th. I said, oh, that's the whole narrative right there. As above, so below. These niggas will tell you doom and gloom all day, but none of your so-called leaders have told you that you're in the glory days. No one has told you that we have returned to the golden age. No one has told you that the Christ mythos has personified itself in the cosmos. And if you children of the sun, then you should be celebrating that victory as well. And you shouldn't be here lamenting and fucking scared and in fear about what these crackers is doing, knowing damn well that they're playing into the prophecy that you keep saying that they're supposed to be playing into. You're supposed to be celebrating right now.
It's all going
You're
according
supposed
to
to be
plan.
in the fucking in the streets running down with flags with your shirt off, like you can't even control yourself, right? Or you should be quiet somewhere, planning and building out your legacy sentence. That's what you should be doing. Shout out to Jay Morrison, man. Morrison, you understand?
And I was also saying for the record that at that revolt thing, remember, he was the brother who put nationality on the national stage. I just want to say,
He put nationality on the ballot. He put nationality on the ballot. He spoke it. He spoke it, and he vicariously, right, an influencer who influenced the influencers to influence the influenced.
T.I.
That's always been the mission. Yeah. So
yeah, he influenced T.I.
Making a national conversation, right?
That's how that works.
We're missing these narratives. Like we're not paying attention to these signs and these symbols and the subtleties of symbolism, the beauty of it, You won. Get out your way, right? And this indigenous autonomous issue is a continuous one, right? Look at our brothers in the Amazon. Look at our Aborigine brothers in Australia. Every time that they beat them in court with the paperwork, right? Because these are paper gangsters. And they said, look, I will burn this shit to the ground before I give it up. That's who you dealing with. You having the wrong conversations right now, and you beefing with the wrong people when you should be preparing yourselves, because you are going to have to remove these people up off your land if you say this land is yours. So interestingly enough, right? Because I read some comments today, and dudes was like, oh, Blue, you always hating on the ADOS and the FBAs. I'm like, how? I be trying to give you some game, right? In the same way that I go into churches and speak to these preachers, right? Just like that white boy did with that IG video that went viral, right?
About the black people being original Israelites. Or
yeah. Same way that I'll be lighting them up, I'm just saying to the people that are claiming descent from this land, tap into the energy of this land, because there's deific energy, there's forces, there's spirits in this land. Your ancestors is buried in the dirt underneath this land. You know what I'm saying? But there's also a national descent that goes along with that. So if you want to power up for real, go for the land grab, but do it under the auspices of a national descent that actually gives you claim to the land.
Facts.
What's so hard about that? You understand? I don't see what the conflict is. Right? I'm glad that you decided to come home. Right? Now play for some control or some ownership. You don't want to have that conversation?
And to keep it a stack, the standard has been set, like you said, in 2020 on a prophet's birthday. An organization with a membership that's, relatively micro on investment terms. They were able to purchase and redesign
For as low as $500, you were able to invest in a vehicle of which you can have equity and stock in.
Facts. You know, shareholders. And being that he was able to do that, there are so many other organizations, so many other groups, right? Who, if they were to follow or if they were to, you know,
model,
because
they have the numbers, they got the influence and the influences. So
look,
why are they not turning out?
Hold on, drum roll. They got the data. So that's all. Remember, big data. The brother has the numbers that they need, and he could show the model, and that model could spread the same model that the creatives, the creative collectives amongst us should be seeking from Tyler Perry. What is the model that you're using, my brother? What's the model? What, like, you know, because keep in mind, what makes Hollywood work was 5, all right? The fact that they were all working off of each other's energy, and the fact that they all had they were telling unique stories from a unique perspective, mainly based off of the owner of said studio. So we know, based off of the fact that Tyler Perry just said that he writes everything that he does, that he has no writer's room, it's all him. So you know that the energy of his studio, or what his studio was going to represent, is going to be something that's not going to satisfy all of us. It's not going to speak for all of us, and it's not going to empower all of us. The same way like MGM was doing something for a certain segment of white America that Warner Brothers wasn't doing. They were doing something else for Italian gangsters, and, you know, Clark Gable and all of these other people. They were all broadcasting Anglo-futurism. All right, we have Afrofuturism, but there's something called Anglo-futurism, and that's what the earlier stages, almost 100 years ago, of Hollywood represented. Because even in 100 years ago, in the roaring 20s, they were still building up their narrative through entertainment, through vaudevilles, through silent film, and all of these other things, giving you an image of them that didn't exist at that time, but they made it a reality. So we, you know, the fact that that brother has a studio next to Tyler Perry's studio, Paul, and I also wanted to say that his opening of that facility in Atlanta speaks a lot about what Atlanta means, and the power of this Atlantis, this land, our second home, you know, and, you know, how that could be modeled, that model that brother's doing specifically in Atlanta can also be done all throughout the South. But Atlanta is like another, it's the Mecca that Drew Ali spoke of. You know, it's one of the places that many of our great ancestors, you know, the prophets, you know, they spoke of cities like this, you know, with a potential, right? Not what's being done at the moment, the probability, you know what I'm saying? The potential, the actual probability, the fact that if something were to happen in 5 years, what would that place turn into? Because I saw it turn into something in a 5-year span. I saw it from ashy to classy.
Every time I leave and come back, even if it's for a week, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even if for a week or two, something considerable changes out here. This place is constantly changing and evolving, and it's the home of the doers. I don't know whether it's about something that's in the red clay, but there's a different type of energy that's on the move out here. These people are industrious. There's a lot of people that are doing things that you don't see. You know, I saw a pop, like I said, I seen family today. I seen strong melanated men. You know what I mean? I saw people that with determination in their eyes. You know what I mean? And they showed us a lot of love. You know what I mean? They showed us. So these are people that are, you know, out of our audience, the silent majority. You know what I mean? I was definitely honored to be in the presence of so much power, of so much melanin excellence, Moorish excellence,
Yeah.
black excellence for, as they identify it, what I'm saying, for themselves. All of it was on display, and it was just, it was powerful. It was powerful to be. Shout out to my son, shout out to Tamika Mallory. I saw Derek Grace as well.
Oh,
Um, the yeah, it was a lot of people, you know, who yeah, like it was. It's just hard to explain, bro. I guess I'm still downloading it all. I'm still filtering it, and then I got to tour the facilities and to see the facilities. It's like, yeah, he did that. This is
well,
dope. But I'm
I
like,
would.
yo,
Mhm.
that that needs to be in every city, every
Fact.
major city where melanated people is at. There should be a building like that with a workspace that's specifically dealing with melanated entrepreneurs and startups, you know what I'm saying, in the youth, somewhere to give the youth an ability to pour out their thoughts, you know what I'm saying, to like really sharpen their mental faculties because they're geniuses,
That's
the
facts.
younger they are, you know what I mean? So yeah, Atlanta's a dope place to be, you know what I'm saying, right about now. Um, yeah,
Yeah, and there are a few other places. The fact that we travel a lot gives us the opportunity to see the magnetic electrifying cities. When you and A. Rashid made your pilgrimage to the A in '96, that was what year was that?
yeah.
I opened it up.
It was Freaknik time. So that was
Yeah.
like 90 something.
All right.
Yeah.
And then you brought the word back to New York. You brought the word back to the hood. We heard that
Yeah.
word. Yeah, and we heard that word, and we came down there 3 deep in '97, and when I touched that
Yeah.
town,
It turned it upside down. Yeah.
turned it upside down. But by turning it upside down, at the same time, seeds were being planted, you know. And like I said, I seen it go from ashy to classy. And I'm not saying it was ashy when we got there, but it wasn't what it is today by no way, no how. But it was electrifying. It was magnetic. I was able to see Erica Badu. I saw the Goody Mob performing. Outkast, remember Black Ice, the album Soulful. CeeLo was that dude. Outkast was lit. If anybody watched the
Lit,
documentary about the beginning of Southern hip
lit.
hop, they explain it. And these are the experts that Outkast was the very first group on record that came out of the South like that, and broke through and gave it and introduced that sound. And then other groups popped out of Atlanta. And I know Kilo existed, but he was regional. He wasn't a national act like that. So when they did the Christmas album with LaFace, and then they dropped Southern Player Catalytic Music, and then the Source Awards thing happened, and then Goody popped up. Goody Mob started doing their thing, and then you get the UA what's them dudes?
Pastor Troy and
Yeah, Sean, yeah, Pastor Troy
Paul.
comes, and then he
Yeah.
comes clapping that Master P with like, and this is what woke Atlanta up. I don't give a fuck what you say. Ain't we ready? We ready? We ready? Okay, but niggas got
I remember going
that was
to
the jump start for niggas' heart.
the Lakewood Amphitheater. That's what it's called.
Yeah, they Lakewood, and when they had the jump off, they had
Country niggas turn up. Yeah, son. I was like,
birthday
oh, they
bash.
on their shit. They finna run this foreign. They was on that Iraqi shit.
Yeah,
You
like
you American.
New Orleans was
Yeah.
Iran and Atlanta was Iraq. Because remember, New Orleans had it with Master P and them.
They had a
You know what I'm
rivalry.
saying?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Remember they have a sports rivalry with the Saints and the
They got a sports
and the
rivalry with
sports
Saints and the
team.
Falcons.
They have
Yeah.
an ingrown rivalry. So with the music, and then then we was there. Well, my crunk aspect came by way of Miami because we was fucking with Pitbull, and I met Little John and them in Miami more so than it was an Atlanta thing initially. So I was around crunk, but I wasn't really participating with it on the scene like that. Then I was around for the Snap, D4L, and Shorty Low and all of that. I seen every phase of Atlanta that you can conceive of think of.
I remember
You know what I mean? And I played it from the. I remember the rise of T.I. because T.I. came in on the wings of, what's the big nigga name?
What's his name? Bone Crusher. Look.
Bone Crusher.
No. That's what I'm saying. He was already lit. He was underground, but yeah,
I'm talking about his
national push, fam.
National.
The fact that he's Mr. Expeditiously now, and he's the spokesman for Diet Woke, right? He's part of the Diet Woke mafia. He's a boss. You know what I'm saying? In the woke mafia, and it might not even be Diet Woke. Yeah, he's not an underboss. He's a woke mafia boss.
He woke.
He woke. He woke. Nah.
Don't do that to him.
No, he's a woke underboss. Right? He sits on the woke commission. What is it? Charlemagne is the underboss. Huh?
He's part of that mafioso. He's part of that hierarchy.
That's right. The Rock Nation.
But he can sit in the room. He can sit in the room. Yeah.
That's facts. So the fact that in 2000 and what is it, 3? When is the rise of T.I. in Atlanta? T.I. had a mystique to him in the beginning, y'all. Before the case, before the gun charge, before the beef with Shorty Low and the 1-800 commercial and all of this shit, before that tarnishing of his armor, T.I. was that nigga. He had a grip on before Jeezy, way before Jeezy's wave. You can't even, he had a run in the 8. It was real. By himself. Yeah. And he brought bars. He had, before Lil Wayne was on his before Teenage Wayne with
he was bumping heads with Ludacris first.
Yeah.
We're talking about that time when he had to move the goofy shit out the way, and he brought the trap rapping in. No disrespect to Ludacris, because Ludacris had bars, but Ludacris wasn't from the A. So Son was fighting him for the sound of the A and for the throne. That's why he came with I'm the King of the South shit, because he was representing authentic Southern sound. You know what I mean? Ludacris had the support of the city, but the nigga used to be he was on the radio before that. So he won the city over by being a radio personality that happened to pop with a song.
And it was like funny rap. Like, how Lil Nas X have not pause, but like he had novelty rap. So Ludacris was doing novelty rap in the beginning, and then he went into, I wanna kick you. He started doing girl shit, and he was out of here after that. T.I. comes with bars. T.I. was considered the Jay-Z of the South for a while. T.I. had a grip. Yeah. So to see where he's at now,
on the little flip,
the little flip thing, like you would think that he was one of the rappers that would really peel something. And then they murdered his right hand by the name of Phil on the road. Remember, he got his best friend got murked in front of him. And that begins the shift that we begin to see, where he begins his hero's journey, because he has his near-death experience. His near-death experience not only humbles him, his near-death experience brings him into a place of, inner searching and whatnot, because somebody lost their lives based off of something that he did. So this is when the maturity of T.I. begins to take place. Then when the situation with Shorty Low takes place, you see somebody who's scared and vulnerable based off of the PTSD or whatever else they were living through. Because if you ever see your day one die in front of you, it's if y'all run around rooting for Donald Trump and everybody else to keep it 1,000 and blow smoke, but you scoff at the thought of a citizen, you know what I mean, turning in to, not a vigilante, but you're gonna protect yourself by any means. So he bought the whole damn gun show, not the gun store. He just went to the whole gun show, was like, yo, give me that whole table.
You know, give me the whole convention.
Give me the whole convention and deliver it.
Yeah. Amazon. Yeah. I need the whole convention.
This nigga was so shook, he bought the whole convention. Right? I guess Shorty Low and them had guns and Boyd Holmes.
Yeah.
And that was his pressure. The pressure bust pipes and make diamonds, right? So his pressure was that charge and that beef. That charge and that beef. That charge sat him down, and obviously it did something for him. That people, not everyone, there's people who have all of their judgments of people, bah humbug. We're talking about it's people who follow him religiously, who, if he's doing something and he says expeditiously, they're like, yo, expeditiously. You know what I mean? The people that he influences, we have no say whatsoever over those millions of people who's gonna follow his lead. If he changes one person, that's a touchdown. But go ahead.
Yeah, so we were saying all that to say what?
We were just giving it up about Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And yeah. But we were also mentioning other states, like Houston, like
we were
Detroit.
Yeah. And I did want to say, for the Atlanta family, you know what I'm saying, if you are going to be here on Friday, I'm going to get a cheap plug-in. I have a CBD Spa 2020 vision board party is jumping off. You can RSVP at 404-475-2602. That's 404-475-2602. All right. Or you could go to my page on Instagram at Blue Pillar 44. I got all kind of information pertaining to that, because I got an Eventbrite link that I got to put up. So I put it in the description box. You could click on it. RSVP if you in town. Come through. We're going to have CBD massages, a CBD spa, vision board party, and you're going to get to hear about all of the health trends, the wealth trends in this $22 billion CBD business. Okay?
Make sure y'all go there, family. Like, the brother is doing a vision board party. That right there. Not to sell you any snake oil, but for somebody, that could be the life-changing experience that you're looking for.
It's
that could be the breakthrough.
So ain't nobody selling you nothing or nothing. I'm saying, utilize and harness this energy of 2020. Like, I'm gonna break it down to you and tell you what this thing is all about. Like, this is it. You feel me? Like I said, this is the year of conjunctions. Ross Ben did the astrological chart for 2020. He charted it June 1st, 2020 at noon. This year has no squares in this chart. You know what I'm saying? Now think about it. This is a 4-year that's controlled by the master number 22, because you take the zeros out, and you don't technically supposed to reduce or change master numbers. So it's a 22, but it's a 4-year as well. In Chinese astrology, it's the year of the rat, which makes it a metal year. It's going to be a metal year for the next 2 years. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying
metals are shooting up.
Yeah.
And it's a metal war.
Yeah, the noble metal is gold. Been telling y'all what time it was when it comes to this gold. This is just not about ingestible gold that I'm trying to sell you to come. I'm like, look, align yourself. This is the golden era. This is the golden age. There's nothing that's going to assist you more when you talk about having clear focus than you decalcifying your pineal gland and removing brain fog and having mental acuity, right? Because when we did the reading of the year with Destiny Grind, it came back as hexagram 58. Hexagram 58 deals with not being emotionally impulsive. You know what I'm saying? So by not being emotionally impulsive, they saying before you respond or speak, you need to think 4 or 5 times. I experienced that this weekend. I experienced it. I was in a situation that could have went the very, very left. And then if that shit went left, it could have slipped into a watery grave. You know what I'm saying? But then I miraculously I caught myself, and instead of responding abruptly,
Yeah.
I was able to in my own mind say, yo, I don't need to be responding. You know what I'm saying? There's really no need to respond. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me allow that to pass over. I was calculated in my responses. I was thinking things through. And that's how you have to be, in the remainder of this year. You have to be able to not be emotionally impulsive. You know what I'm saying? You have to not be emotionally impulsive. And in order to do that, you got to have a clear mind. You have to have clear thoughts. You can't run around this year intoxicated, you know what I'm saying? Doped up on any and everything. You got to be able to be, semi-fluid in your thoughts, or have access to the thoughts that you know are your thoughts. You know what I mean? That you know are your genuine thoughts. So that was one of the readings. There was another one that came through. I'm gonna tell it to you in a second. Right?
You have the Wayne Chandler reading?
Yeah, I mean I have it. Yeah, I do. I do have it. You know, I do have it. But do remember we do have our brother Mizraim is in the queue as well.
Yes. That's 10:30.
Okay. All right. So we're coming up on 10:30 very shortly. Just allow me a moment to retrieve some of this information. I got a lot of notes in my book, doing a lot of research as of lately. All right. But yeah, that goldwater.com, that description is in the link. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, you could go and make that order while I'm talking and trying to get this information.
I'm also dropped a link for Ross Ben's video, his YouTube channel.
Oh,
Ross,
please, yes.
what's his YouTube channel again?
It's Ross Ben.
It's a number. I'll drop the link to the video in the chat.
188.
Yeah, it's a number sequence. But I will drop the link. When y'all see it, I'll pin it. So you'll see the description. It'll say Ross Ben 2020 video in the comment section. So go and check that out. Go and get,
that
balance forecast. That's right.
Yeah, like you get a whole new lens when you're able to look at it from a cosmological standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Because all of this stuff checks out. And he gives you his predictions from the past decade, the last 10 years. So you can do your own comparative notes. You dig what I'm saying? You can see how his past predictions lined up. Right? And this is not somebody that's pulling information out of thin air. He's looking at the motion of the cosmos, of the planets, and saying, this is what the energy signature says. God damn it. Ain't nobody got to make nothing up. They're impressing you niggas. Right? It's all there. It's all there. Are you worthy to receive your biggest blessings? That's another question that you have to ask yourself this year. And you got to be in a comfortable space and be real with yourself. I know what that shit feels like, right? Don't be in denial. Face that shit. You know what we talking about, nigga? Do you feel worthy to receive your biggest blessings? Some people are scared of success because they're not ready for it. Huh?
That's facts.
This is real spit. Right?
Some people are so scared of success that they'll sabotage themselves.
They'll sabotage it.
It
was talking about that today too. It was talking about that today too in the speech at the Legacy Center. The self-sabotage that kicks in. You know what I mean? Because you're scared of success. You get right there and you sabotage yourself because you don't want to take that next step. It's unfamiliar to you. You feel me? You shook by success.
Facts.
And I understand that because sometimes shit get heavy, shit get heavy. You know what I mean? And you like, yo, you know, sometimes,
That's extra 2 plates on the bar. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Not one. That's when they throw, you got it, you already got it on the bench. You already got it up. And they like, yo, we bringing 2 plates over. You really gonna push this shit. And you like, damn, let me just think about this. But you don't got no time. So that's what success feels like on your shoulders. You know, it's an extreme weight. That's what leadership is a weight. It's a
that's what I'm
burden.
talking about. Talking about
Right.
leadership. You know, when it comes to, they like, yo, the people. You like, whoa, you feel me? Especially if you leery of the people, you like, God damn, I know what that shit felt like before. The people is unreliable. The people is, you know, not to be dependent upon. The people that switch up on you. The people are fickle. The people is this. The people is that. I seen 1,000 people that have faith and belief in their leadership today, though, and what that translates into, because they look into that man for leadership. You know what I'm saying? And they
Facts.
have invested in his ability to lead them to their promised land, right? He tied it into their legacy. This is shit that they are jugging for when they in the ground and no longer here. That's a Jesus upsell.
Mm-hmm.
You dig what I'm talking about?
Facts.
So yeah, yeah. Shout out to that. Shout out to the king. And I believe he's a Scorpio.
Yeah, yes. I believe so.
Yeah, Jay Morrison is a Scorpio.
November 7th, I think. Amir's birthday.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. That's a beautiful thing. You know, yeah. I look forward to see uh what all of the magical, all of the groundbreaking, all of the paradigm shifting things that are gonna come out of that one center. The same way in New York City, we had the opportunity at a Black-owned legacy center that went by the name of the Henriette, yes, the Barbara Ann Tier National Black Theater. And in this theater, family, we witnessed history take place in a 10-year span. You know, we witnessed monumental feats of melanated intelligence, melanated excellence, melanated uh, godhood and kinghood and queenhood in that one building, in that theater, right? It was
Yes.
famous for its plays, but later in his life became famous for the lectures and the debates and the weekly classes of Moorish science and civics and heritage, and Brother Ali's ISIS classes of nationality, history, science, and a few other things. And then the class changed into, his organization changed names into, what was the new name?
I don't remember.
Yeah. So the brother, you know, that facility was a place where magical things took place, monumental things took place. And I've often said that if we duplicate and replicate institutions and buildings such as that, theaters, centers, not just one storefront, but buildings, real estate, then magical, wonderful, you know, just powerful things will begin to happen, depending on, of course, who's the ones opening up. But you know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And with that said, that's a perfect segue, you know, because in that building as well, on Wednesday evenings, you know, the sister Ross Mariah Bay and Anna L, they continue the legacy that I was initially a part of. Wednesday night Moorish class was how I was introduced to Moorish information. Um, it was initially they was holding it on 137th and Lenox at a church when I first came in 2000 or 2001, and the teacher at the time was our gentleman that ended up becoming my stepfather, and his name is Amir, the elder. You
Brother
feel me?
Amir.
Brother Amir, smoothest cat I've ever met. You dig what I'm saying? So much so that I had to make it happen. I introduced them to Mama Pill, and you know they had some glorious times together. But afterwards, later, that was my mentor at the time. And later on in life, once that situation got disbanded, we moved to Brooklyn. He put it in the hands of the youth. You know what I'm saying? And some of the brothers who I was part of a lodge with, we had the thing rocking and rolling for a minute, and then it fell to pieces because of the things that make all organizations fall to pieces. Nigger activity.
Niggonomics.
Niggas gonna nig. You know what I'm saying? Niggas nigged it to death.
Baby, I'm
Wonderful thing. And the mothers, the sisters came and picked up the pieces, and they had to uplift fallen humanity because the men was niggering to death. The ego shit, the same thing that happened in the conscious community. You know what I mean? So I bore witness to that, and this powerhouse of of a goddess, of an empress, of a matriarch came in the personage of Ras Mariah Bey, and much like my life mission is about edifying my mama, this young man that we're about to bring on the line, his life mission is about edifying his mother through and with the information. You know what I'm saying? So I want to honor him and allow our brother to join us this evening on this platform and salute him. And without further ado, I want to open up the line and bring in our brother Mizraim L. Shalom, peace.
Peace, nobles. Yo, man, great to see y'all. Can y'all hear me good?
Yes,
loud and
indeed.
clear.
That's peace, bro. That's peace. Yo, the universe works in great ways, man. I just first and foremost want to say thank y'all. Salute to you both
Thank you.
for even reaching out on Prophet Noble Drali's born day.
It's only right.
Yo, it's only right. Before I'm gonna have my Mirage join me in a minute,
Okay.
but before we go in, I just want to give a special thanks to you both, the twin
Yeah.
pillars, bro, because y'all had my mother on first and foremost to launch y'all first KTL radio.
That's
Yeah.
a fact.
People all the time,
Yes.
even if they ask me about y'all, I say I have a profound respect for both of you brothers for even doing that. You understand? And
Yes.
and because that was a symbolization of that particular time and how that will forever be remembered. Forever, right?
It's a
And
story. You know,
yeah, that's real talk. And
that's how you do it. You got to set it off with the mother. She has to bless it. It's all matriarchal information. Islam is based upon the mother. You know what I'm saying? Venus.
big fat.
You know what I mean? That star. So I know what we dealing with, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I know the correct way to do things as a son of a mother, you know what I'm saying? As the
yeah,
my son. So we had to do it how we had to do it. And it was an honor, and it opened up the cosmos.
big fat for sure. So yeah, I just wanted to give thanks to y'all because this is not my first time joining y'all on the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's born day and whatnot. Neither is it my mother's, who's going to join us in a minute. But yeah, I always say I have a profound respect for y'all for that. Even
Thank you.
pressing the lens on my camera, sharing your information. I
Yeah.
always appreciate it.
And let them know what that channel is, because you got some monumental footage, that we done together, and you sharp with your editing skills too. They need to see more of it.
Big facts. Okay, that's Mantis Views 29, bro. Mantis Views 29. I thank you, brothers, for pressing the lens. And there's been a lot of other people who have pressed the lens. But, this year, the past year for me, we ended the classes in Harlem back in September 2018. And from there, it's been a different type of journey. But it's been one of strength and lessons, you know. But yeah, Mantis Views 29, you brothers have definitely graced that channel with your wisdom previous times, and even to this day, there's some things that haven't been released. So
Yes.
you know,
Yeah, well, yeah, we got we got them lost tapes.
we got the lost.
Yeah.
Yo, if I went on a lost tape campaign, I probably have a whole Netflix series. I'm dead ass.
Oh, forget about it.
Yo, I got some classics.
I got lost tapes going back to 05 when I got lost tapes. I've interviewed Obama. I've interviewed Big Meech.
Oh my God. This dude got a crate.
I've interviewed Jay-Z on red carpets. None of that stuff has ever seen YouTube. I got an archive. I got vaults.
But you know what though? It's crazy in these times. Yes, the mother rise.
Hey.
You'll see the room is all green.
I know, I love it.
We
I love
call
like
it
the Matrix.
room.
That's
right. It look like the Oracle's kitchen.
Yeah, it do, right? Facts. It's the Mantis lab, fan.
That's right.
Yes. Before. So for y'all, we was going in basically, you just joined us, but that's my mother, Rise Mariah Bay.
Oh, let me say something.
Yeah, I know, yeah, on the Prophets.
All right, look, 10 years? 10 years? Really? Oh my goodness, it went by fast, didn't it?
It went by so fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, I experienced all of that when I was, did 12 years. Thank you, son. I just got to say this to you. First of all, congratulations on reaching that. But when I did 12 years, it goes by so fast. It goes by so fast, right? But if you sustain for 10 years, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. That means whatever you're doing has that energy to continue. And congratulations to you for that. But I got to tell you, I have not been behind the camera in the flesh for what? We finished the classes, did 12 years of classes, and I have not been behind the lens, as you guys say, for 15 months now.
Wow.
Behind.
In front of the camera, you mean?
In front of the camera.
Yeah.
So media wise, so I came out, especially thank you for inviting me, and I definitely came out to give you your props for your 10 years, a decade. So I just want you to know that's real special. I guess what we're doing now is we all have to do that. We know that the Aquarian energy is in and the age of information, but for 12 years, we pressed and pressed every week doing what we did. So we had to take this Piscean energy, you have to let it go out where you have to go behind the scenes to perfect your technique of applying the knowledge to share with man and mankind. And that's where we are now. So one thing I know is that I'll be back there, and we like the even though there's the media, there's electrifying edge and this camera, we really like the in the flesh and sharing the energy. So we're going to be doing that. And but it'll be a lot different, in that, it'll be structured classes, pre-sign up, it's not like that. Hang out, come on. It's too much information out there for people. They can decide what they want to focus on to learn and be taught, or learn from the learned, I guess you could say.
Indeed.
Right.
I want to say this first and foremost, that those 12 cycles that we shared, with you and Taj and brother Taj Tariq, Mizraim, Shyam,
yes, name them all.
Abundant
child, what's my dude?
Jelani, because I was listening to the first episode. Jelani called in, Jelani Bay.
Yes.
Anna E, we have to shout out, of course.
Anna E. Tabir was there. I'm saying that the history that was made in that class, the numbers that class was able to maintain over the 12-year period. I remember being in a class when True Master did a lecture.
Oh, wow.
It was so packed that we had to, it was me, AA, and I think Dot. And we had to sit, we was outside in the hallway listening to it.
Yeah.
That's how packed Wednesday class was at a point. You know, it was like a packed lecture. I was there for every moment of it. What I'm saying is, you those classes that you have recorded, that content that was created, you know, that pouring into people, that freeing of slaves, you know, that steady beating against the quote unquote, you know, the temple doors.
Yeah.
It has seed planting, so those seeds are still blossoming and it's already grown. You have many trees that have grown out of those classes into flowers, into bouquets, you know, into whole rainforests. So the students that you have, that I personally witnessed, some of the people, you know, these are some students that went on to Ali Muhammad started out, right? I remember he was going into your class, he was in Wednesday classes as well, right? I remember Polite used to be in Wednesday classes. You know, there was so many people. I remember I said the Duke of Tears taught a Wednesday class. All of this is history. All of this, you know, all of this, the fact that you were able to keep those doors open, the consistency, you know, that was a university. We were in a college. When Taj had his run, he was teaching for about, you know, 2.5 years straight. These are different eras. I went in there and did my classic 4-part lecture.
Yes.
Right? The Moors in Antiquity from 7-Eleven to 2000 and to the present day. I believe it was 2012.
I think so.
Yeah, and then you believed in me. You were encouraging me to even do a class, and I did it. And I was like, yo, this is powerful. Like, thank you. I was.
That lost your career.
No, that didn't lost my career. I was already on SpaceX. No,
I know that you kind of went into your bag and got a chance to really dig in with an intimate audience.
Oh, yes.
Spoke about something that you was passionate.
That's fact.
About. You know what I'm saying?
That gave me that definitely gave me a stage to be very passionate and to dig very deep. I think that's when I put together a 600-page book doing the research for that.
You know, you did a lot of research. I remember that.
But it was a time that research, remember we were flooded with those pamphlets.
Yes.
That you would read one day, put down, and when you read it that one day, you was like, there's some good weed I'm smoking. Because the shit that I'm reading, it has to be the weed, right? And then you put the book down, but then you come back to it 6 months later, a year later, 10 years later. And
what you last said I missed because the sound went out, but it sounds like you were saying something that was joyful. Well, you were talking about the pamphlets, what we call our little syllabus. And then
I said some of those. I said some of those books you would pick up and you would take them home. You would get them and read them, and then you would say to yourself, "This must be some good sacraments that I'm smoking. The stuff that I'm reading, it has to be the sacraments." You know, I'm reading about some stuff that it has to be the sacraments. You know, because this is not what I'm reading. And then you put it down, and then you go on your journey. You navigate. You begin to go through the information highway. And then you begin to see a lot of the things that you had initially read is now being introduced to you through the means that the great divine speaks through, which is media. We're living in an electrified age, so it's going to be social media and the internet. And I promise you, when you pick that pamphlet back up, whether it's 6 months later, a year later, or 10 years later, it's reading you, because now it begins. Now you know it's not the sacraments. It was just that you wasn't ready for the information, but the information definitely put us on a journey. I would never attribute anything that I witnessed and all of the breakthroughs that you know, because it's personal. So I might watch the news and have a euphoric moment, and a light bulb may go off in a room of 100 people, and nothing goes off for them because it's all perspective. I already got programmed with something to prepare me to look for something like that. So when I hear Rock of Gibraltar, bing, it goes off. I'm zoned in. When I hear 7-Eleven, bing, I'm zoned in. What are they talking about? When I hear somebody say Algonquin, you know, there's certain trigger words, you know, and for our people,
You're informed now.
you're
Awareness.
and your awareness. That's right. And the power of awareness is that it changes your perspective. And when your perspective changes, your reality changes.
And your perceptional lens. So you're looking and listening for different things now. It's broadening the scope of your reality.
That's
Your
right.
has become wider, and then you're like, oh, this is this. You know, you start perceiving, and your observations change,
Yeah.
and the way that you observe the world now. You know, you can see an entire world that was right in front of you that you didn't see before, and that can be a tweak of 1 or 2 degrees in your perceptional field. And that's how powerful and important this information is, because you never know what's going to trigger an alternation in your perception field. You understand?
Yeah. So as Red Pill said, they were seeds.
All of it.
All of it was seeds. You're right. And you see those things happening, you know, and we're in the honor today of also of Prophet Noble Ali, of course. And, you know, you see some of that prophetic things coming to light as well. You know, and like you said, you find it all to be true. Later on, you'll hear about it. And a lot of the things that we heard about now is saturated, like you said, it's saturated and becomes the norm, you know, like the norm to go seek after that information and find out what it is. And I think that now when you talk about the platform that we had, like over those years, you know, we could just run them all off on, you know, those who were not just students, but instructors there that, you know, right, you know, and look and see where everyone is or where they were even before we got started. Like look, Hakeem Bey, he came on the scene.
Oh,
He did the,
How can we forget? Hakeem?
yes, that you can't forget that, brother, right?
Fact. I want to ask you one question because your camera is getting a little blurry. Is there any way whatsoever, Ms. Raheem, that you could enhance the visuals?
Hold on.
All
I
right.
don't want it to be blurry.
Oh yeah, we turned off a certain light. All right, is that better? You standing there? Yeah.
It's the connection.
Oh, the connection.
Maybe the
Yeah,
connection.
we lost some of your voice also at some point. Is it better now?
No, what I'm saying is the picture is kind of blurry on my end from where I'm sitting. I don't know if Blue sees the same thing.
Yeah, I was looking on my phone. It looked kind of blurry online too.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let's see what we
You
got.
need y'all in HD. Talk black to me.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that, but
Oh wow, there it
yeah.
goes. Yeah. How about now? No, it's too dark now, right?
How does that look, Blue?
they got to say something again so they can.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, I like that better.
All right, fine. We made a little change. We won't do that again.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So, you know, gosh, I had a whole list of them at that point. But I do remember when you first came on, I was so honored. You had me on. We were traveling down the highway back from New York, I believe, and we pulled over to make sure we could be on your first show. And then I know you called on I think the 5th year or maybe the 1st year or something like that. So I am honored that you asked us to do that. But when you talk about this information in this electrifying age of information, you're absolutely right, because it's like you read it and you know back in those days, so, oh, well, what are you talking about? Now it's all coming to manifestation, you know, now. So those were absolutely seeds that were planted, you know, and you have to do the studies on that yourself, or like you said, you hear the word here, you hear that there, and you're like, wait a minute, and now it's all coming together.
I mean, yes, I agree with that. And you know, on further note, like the classes are, you know, in my development and my growth and development and my personal, me and Blue Pills, you know, and our origin story, you know, that class right there was a pillar along with this show that we had every Tuesday and Friday. You know, the power of consistency, right? Something that the prophet and, you know, something that was taught to us that through more science about, you know, power of the numbers, the power of the days, and the power of being consistent, of being, you know, of staying on the case until you get your breakthroughs. So I was dependent financially, right? Because I'm an entrepreneur and I took the leap to feed myself, my son at that time, when Amir was young, when he was just born, all the way up into his earlier, you know, later years. And that class, because there were Moors there and they understood that if somebody is amongst you and they're being, if a Moor is amongst you and they're being industrious, you know, you got to support that. You know what I'm saying? The whole class should be selling something at this point. But
yeah.
And it was remember, it was a win-win for me because not only do I come to learn, but I also come to do business. I'm also coming, huh?
I come to learn and I come to earn.
I come to learn and I come to earn. And during the break, I come to burn. You know, you know, and I come to discern as well. Mm-hmm. So I might have walked in there with a skeptical ear and a skeptical eye. And I'm going to let you know that every single Wednesday I walked out of there satisfied.
All right.
Every single time. It doesn't matter if I walked in there once or if I walked in there whenever. And I'm sure that other people walked in there as well because, you know, we were all in class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it was a staple to my growth and development. I met some great people in those classes. I learned a lot about myself in those classes. The veil was lifted on many, many occasions. So then Monday class, Ali Muhammad. Remember, this is the pillar. These are the two pillars of the weekdays, and we're doing Tuesday and Friday shows. But we're going to Monday and Wednesday classes to network, to do commerce, and to build, right? And remember, because it's all about the social settings. This is where nationhood takes place in the longhouses, right?
Yes.
So this is wherever we gather and wherever we are at, and we're doing something positive, like sharing information, the fifth pillar of hip hop. So it was rightfully so that the godfather of hip hop was facilitating these two classes because he was restoring the missing pillar, which was knowledge and culture in the culture of hip hop, a culture that we, you know, are part of.
Yes.
So you're attracting young people. Ali's class had a plethora of, I'm talking about it for the cycle that it ran, the numbers of people that walked in and out of those doors. I can't, right, Blue? The number of people that came and went. Dolo the Moor. Remember the King of Moors?
Hey, you know, I got a question now. I haven't been back. How's that building doing now? Is anything going on in it?
I believe that they did not start to tear it down as of yet. For the family who may not be aware of the building that she's speaking of, it's the National Black Theater, which was owned by Sister Barbara Ann Tier, a melanated playwright and entrepreneur. It was sold to be redeveloped into a high-rise residential multiplex, I believe, right? Because they're going to keep the bottom. You know, this new thing in Harlem is multiplexes with high-rises. There's something on 2/5. There's a movie theater, museum, a hotel one side, and then a residential tower. These are like 30-foot towers right on 125th Street, across the street from where Brother Sanetta and I was set up by the Apollo. They put a castle right there. but I have aspirations to, you know, be a resident of, you know, one of those places in the castle, because we're from the, you know, we're castle people.
That's on that. And 125th
All right.
Street.
Keep that on.
You know. Oh, is it delayed?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, yeah.
Yeah,
You
we,
hear us, bro?
Yep.
yeah, we heard you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So, you know,
There's a delay, but it's all
okay,
good.
definitely. So if there's a new class that's gonna be created, we definitely look forward to that. The fact
Oh,
that
yeah.
you tapped into technology and you started doing it as a live feed, a podcast through Blog Talk. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
powerful. Yeah.
We're
And the
still
fact-
on blog. We're still on blog. So replacing the physical classes,
Can't hear you. Your audio.
went out. No audio.
going to be
There you go. Yeah, you back.
Your audio went out for a minute, Sister Roz.
all right. I said we're still on blog, even from the time that we left the physical classes. We've always been doing the blog audio.
Let them know the channel.
Blog Talk Radio. You're still
Yeah,
there.
blog, yeah, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open.
MH.
HS. That stands for Morris Heritage and History School.
Right.
MHHS. Eyes Wide Open blog.
Eyes Wide
And all
Open.
the archives are on there. In fact, tonight I had to do, on the second Wednesday, I had to do astrology. So I left from that on the audio, which is hard to do. You could talk about it. We talked about that big configuration of Capricorn and all of those.
Oh, hold on. I need to hear this. Your audio is going out again.
.30 and every Wednesday at 7:30. We even read books. We got a circle of readers. You know how they say that our people don't read? So
That's a lot.
yeah, we actually read the book. Every what is it? The first and third, fourth Wednesday and fifth, if there's a 5. We literally read chapters of a book and then have a discussion.
Can you tell us anything about this upcoming conjunction on January 12th dealing with Saturn conjuncting Pluto at 22 degrees?
Yeah, it's conjuncting. I don't have a word. It's not just Pluto. Pluto's in the Cyrus. Mercury is on a 23rd degree, but still Mercury's in there. Who else is in there? I wrote it down. And of course the sun. It's like 5. And and so when the sun is at 2 degrees.
Your audio went out again. Your audio.
With the audio.
Karmic release. Oh, the audio.
Yeah, your audio just came back in.
All right. It's at 2:22 p.m. and the sun is there. And this is an inner, because you know you're talking to Earth sign, right? But it's in the 8th house of Scorpion.
Right.
Yes, so it's
Can't miss this. Yeah, your audio went out again. Hello?
all get together across the land, all 4 corners at 2:22 p.m., you know, and invoke what you want. I think the vocals went out again. Did they?
When I see the brother do Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Where's your vocals at? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I definitely hear you now. The last thing that I heard you saying was about it being in the 8th house Scorpio, and then it cut off.
Capricorn is in the 8th.
Oh, okay, Capricorn. And then you said dealing with the fact that the Scorpio is an inward because we're dealing with the waters.
Well, Capricorn is earth, and so is
Yeah,
any water sign. Any earth and water sign is an inward transformation, not necessarily an outward. So it's time for soul expansion, maturity, responsibility. The sun coming in and being conjunct, as well as bringing in new life, new energy. It's a great time for inner transformation, but you have to you have to release all the karmic debt. You know how we talked about, how like even when we started in class talking about Moors, and then we find out later that the real original slaves were really the Slavics that were really here at these plantations, and all of this truth that Aquarius and the Age of Information has released. Well, and then we understand about karmic debt. Well, it's time to release all of that. It's time to move on. Right, this is the transformation time right now, and it is inward, so it's with each one of us. So you have Saturn sitting there, again Mercury, what's the other planet, Cyrus, Mercury, Saturn, Cyrus, the sun, and one more. Gosh, I can't remember what it is. Not Neptune, but it is a great energy, but it is inward.
Right.
It is inward. It's time for people to,
Right.
really
I was
make.
telling them there's a brother named Ross Ben, and he
Mm-hmm.
did a 2020 year reading, and he said some of the same things that you're saying. He said that this year deals with reconciliation of karmic debt, and the
Yes.
responsibility has to be taken. We have to
Yes.
get out of victimization. So there's no other organizations that have this conversation with the people other than Moors. Because,
Mhm.
like I said, if you're not dealing with the fullness of the history, then you're always going to be um, shifted into the victimization of, oh, they brought my people here on a boat and with slaves, and I want reparations. And I'm showing them, how far this thing goes back, you know what I mean? All the way up into this alleged war on terror, and how this is them closing their books on their Moorish crusade all the way up until now. I'm like, you have to understand the initial conflict, you know what I mean? And you have to make amends on behalf of your ancestors for that karmic debt before you move on. Stop playing the victim. If this is your jubilee year and the cosmos supposed to be handing you back the keys to the mansion, you got to man up then. Take
Yes.
responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
Responsible
Learn how to
maturity.
deal with the cosmic debt of what the consequences of your actions are. And people are gonna get so in their feelings when they hear this.
Well, of course they are, because the opposite, the polar reflection, Cancer, Capricorn, that too.
I'm gonna make they put it in my head. They
But
brought
I like what you said though about the victim thing. And I remember saying that from the beginning. It came like, look, we got to stop doing it. You can look in people's eyes and see the victim thing. Like they say, oh, they brought us over here on boats. Well, guess what? That's not how we all got here. I'm not saying that didn't occur later with some people being kidnapped off the coast later, but they're the ones who were brought over like that. To reverse the story. So once you know that truth, then you let it go. But you can't take responsibility for a karmic debt, as you said, unless you have the information. And it's not about being a victim, because you will stay what I call stuck in the mud forever if you do that.
yes.
So this is the time to release it all. In fact, anything that you've lost in this year, or even in this decade, or recently, or whatever, just let it all go.
Yes. I recently lost a family friend, very
Mm.
close to us. You know what I'm saying? And I have converted that energy into renewed purpose. I doubled up on my purpose. I picked up, what the brother didn't complete in his works, and I'm like, oh, I got something else to do. I'm not gonna allow that to weigh me down. It's gonna
Mm.
lift me up. You know what I mean? Because now I have angelic support. You know what I mean? So once again, I'm only primed and trained to see the glory in things these days because of the cosmological narrative. And you keep telling me as above, so below. So I'm rejoicing because I just saw a solar eclipse the day after Christmas. And I'm telling people the solar narrative. I'm telling them to follow the solar narrative. They had Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live on the last degree of Sagittarius going into Capricorn, right? They were on he was on SNL that night. It was transferring over from Sagittarius to Capricorn, wearing all black. He was joined on stage by three wise men. They was in all black. All the comedians who are goats in the industry: Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, and then they brought in Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan isn't a solidified goat, so he had on the white T-shirt. The rest of them had on all black, and they did the Return of the King crowning ceremony. So he symbolically aligns himself with the raising of the sun ceremony, because the sun was in the box, right? Because in my research, I was able to decipher the fact that the whole alchemical process of turning lead into gold is when the sun goes into the box in Saturn on that last day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the sun is the sun is what they said, dead in the grave for 3 days. That's just the 3 months of Cap.
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces, right? In the fourth quarter, Jesus dies in the fourth quarter. He don't even finish the narrative, right? And it was symbolically shown to you by Nipsey dying in the fourth quarter, running the marathon. He's a Leo who died at the spring equinox. It's a solar story. It's a narrative. So the day after Christmas is the raising of the king by way of the solar eclipse. And then it's going to culminate on the summer solstice. We're going to have another solar eclipse. So these are all glorious days based on what the cosmos is telling me about this narrative. It's saying that we won. It's saying that when Ras Ben did the chart of the year, there's no squares in the chart this year.
No challenges.
So there's no challenges. So this is an open road. This 2020 clear vision for real, not just, Instagram meme.
Right.
But they're gonna get caught. They're caught more up in the Instagram meme than the actual fact that all of the roads are open and clear, and you can do whatever you conceive and believe to achieve at this particular time if you don't get caught up in the distractions.
That's right. That's correct.
So what are we talking about here? Why is nobody screaming the good news on top of the mountain? But everybody I don't get it.
Because we're not teaching from, as above, so below, cosmic energies. That has been always suppressed, and it's been suppressed under astrology as being, some demonized, don't do that type thing, unable to decode.
Right. So I'm clear, I was introduced initially into the information by way of Clock of Destiny. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, CM Bay.
Yeah, CM Bay. So that was my indoctrination. It was utilizing the cosmic wheel, which is the cosmos.
Exactly.
That's how I was introduced. And then you showed me, how to put the capstone on it, because you would always qualify your conversations by going straight into the cosmos. And then once we got on Know the Ledge and we started getting joined by Ra Koo, who was the cosmophysician, he would do charts on the shows that we were doing in real time and be like, look how your chart lines directly up with this show. We didn't pre-plan it like that.
That's right. That's what you'll find when you do the study.
We didn't pre-plan it like that, right? We are just in a state of being, of moving with cosmic force through cosmic forces. And I'm like, yo, this is not as difficult as people make it seem.
It isn't.
There's a lot of noise out here, and the noise has become so cluttering, and it's muffled the truth. You know what I mean? But we are in a different day and age.
And that is interesting. You say that about what is all this noise and what is all this cluttering, and it really isn't as complicated. And that is also why Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, oh, so you think you studied, huh? You think you know everything, huh? You think you studied and studied well. Well, I'll tell you what, go study yourself. Studying yourself is knowing that chart. So he sent you right back to it, because that is it.
Study. And when you finish that, go study some more.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Indeed. So that time is here. That time is now. Now there's gonna be some people that miss this bus, so to speak. But it doesn't matter where they go. That energy is there. So they can go and try to hide or not want to, reflect. It doesn't matter, because these angles of energy or angles of light energy, which are the angels, that's what it is. It's eminent, you know, it is what it is. So you can go and try to, you know, not want to really see wherever you go. It's the same. It's going, that effect is going to be there.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So, you know, there's a lot for us to, like you said, why is anybody really teaching that? You know, and you said except for Moors, conscious Moors, dealing with as above, so below, dealing with that. So, you know, I'm finding now that there's a whole lot of, like, especially even with astrology, you know, you can go up and find a whole lot of even modern Europeans that are, you know, there's no shame to the astrology now. You know what I'm saying?
I just saw an astrology book in Whole Foods.
There you go.
Along with a magazine that says spirituality, and along with another magazine that said meditation, and it was in rainbow colors. And on the covers of all of these magazines, of course, were Europeans, though. You know, in Whole Foods. This is in Harlem Whole Foods, right on the front rows.
Wow.
It's been adapted. It's been assimilated into adopted,
amalgamated,
accepted. You know, it's amalgamated, accepted, and monetized.
Well,
and so back to the.
They say, "Give me that old time quote religion," and they are talking about astrology. But then you got to understand religion. It really is. It really is that which all religions are established to teach you of your infirmities, which translates to teach all of us of our higher and lower self as a matter of reflection. You know, so the old time religion is astrology, if you will, to realign yourself, just as the new world order is really the old world order coming back in.
Right. So for this upcoming conjunction, is there anything else you have to tell them about other than going inside themselves? You know what I'm saying? And dealing with those.
Well, you got to look at the planets. I have to think up there. Like, for instance, with Saturn, it's forcing discipline and order. You're not going to escape it. You know, it's forcing the discipline and order. And also Capricorn represents what they say, teachers, because really there's, you know, people have been looking for leaders.
Right.
There's no such as that. You know, that's over. Okay, that's over, because really it's about the teacher who feels comfortable enough to share information. Not everybody, you know, wants to share information. You're not going to find that in their character. It doesn't mean they don't know. So the right terminology is the teacher, you know, and you become the teacher yourself. You know, the teacher appears when the student is ready. So it's not so much about leadership as it is about discipline, as it is about focusing, and as it is about, if that's your abilities and character, to teach what you know, because there's nothing really new that someone can lead you to or even teach, because there's nothing new under the sun.
None. That's a fact.
Really, so really. And so that's what's being highlighted as well. I wish I had my notes with me, but just it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to take advantage of an opportunity to invoke with some really powerful energies what it is you want to do in the direction you want to go in. That's really what it is. Because these type of conjunctions, you know, it's explained when you have 5 or 6 planets in one place. It's, you know, I like to explain it as we talk about our being. It's like having a party. And it's all, you know what I'm saying? It's like having a party. And so if 5 or 6 of us get together, and depending on what our energy and our will is and our intent, purity of the heart, you know, some good things are going to come out of it. So it's an opportunity to take.
Mike.
You. All right, her screen froze for a second.
Storm starts back in December. It doesn't start in January. So on that cruxus, on that important a critical point is when all of these are together, and when the sun comes and it just shines that new energy of light. So it's just you can't have anything manifest new until you let go of the old that is in the way. You can't allow this energy to come through. If you're still holding on and haven't released, I think it's powerful about releasing the karmic debt, and not just individually, but on the whole, as you just mentioned. We're finding out the truth. It's not about being a victim. It's about knowing the truth, which is the light, and moving forward with that. We've been holding on to untruths, which is why you can't really move forward like you may want to, because you're holding on to untruths, and that's not going to get you, into a greater place.
That's leading. You know what I'm saying? That's leading, and you can't move with the lead.
That's right.
The lead. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, through my research, the whole thing is tracing yourself to the trajectory of the rebirth of the sun, of that solar principle that comes out of the grave, in the winter months, or in through Saturn and Capricorn, and it makes this rise and trajectory through the spring equinox all the way up into the summer solstice. So it goes from lead to gold, from Saturn.
Yeah, actually, the sun is going to its rising point. Although we think is the winter, but every 2 minutes you're going to find that it gets darker later and later.
Right.
From the winter.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that I'm likening it to the fact that if you trace your trajectory to the sun rising, the sun has to shed itself and release itself of the lead, of the heaviness, because it has to rise to its glorious station. You have to do the same thing. You have to get heavy metals out of your body. The heavy metals out of your body is just not metal deposits. It's the shit that you're thinking, the things that you're drinking, the stuff that you're smoking, the stuff that you're looking at. All of these things are leaden. All of these things are going to weigh you down. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
you should say that.
And
what I got in here drinking is magnesium, moringa, vitamin C, and boric acid.
It removes the heavy metals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's why seasonal flush and cleanses are so important during seasonal changes, because these are the things that our ancestors had prescribed and put into our regular modalities to rid ourselves of the weight, so we can be light, so we could take flight. You know what I'm saying? And you could be likened onto that solar principle, right? This is the my sun narrative. So, I thank you and I honor you, for being the mother. You know what I'm saying? For being the matriarch, to being the mother to all of us.
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm honored too. I'm very honored.
I remember a time when I told you there was a Wednesday Moorish class situation before, you arrived on the scene, and it fell to pieces because there was not enough input from, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, the feminine principle. And that was ultimately the thing that destroyed that last demonstration. So you came and you literally uplift fallen humanity, but it was the reverse. It wasn't the picture of Drew Ali showing the man lifting the women up. The women came and lift up the dead body, which was, Moorish teachings on Wednesday nights, you know what I'm saying, which was the only thing rocking and rolling in the city at that time.
Yeah, that's interesting that you mentioned that picture of the man holding up the woman. And truthfully, he was holding her because she was unconscious. So the uplifting is that she must become conscious. And until she does, he has no other choice but to hold up his mother, until she wakes up. There is something like when you say coming to do the classes, that was interesting because you just follow the dictates of your soul. On another time I can tell you what that was like for me, because I was consistent with what was being led by the dictates of my soul to do, you know, and I grew a lot and developed a lot through that, you know. But it was just the path that I had to go on. Um, it slipped my mind now, but it's something else that you said through the through those classes. And of course there was some agitation. Nothing comes without agitation. You know, you have to accept that nothing comes without agitation, but your persistency must go forth. The other thing you had mentioned as an example of how we haven't been taught or what we have been taught about the truth, you mentioned about the sun, SUN sun. Any astrology that you read is going to say that this is how we got this celestial vibration, or what they call celebration, which is celestial vibration of the winter solstice, and that planet, the sun, being sort of laid back retrograde and resting for 3 days on the end of its path. And then 3 days later, in the astrology book, they'll even say it looks like the sun is moving forward and shooting out of its grave. They took that and coded it into Yahshua sleeping in the tomb for 3 days. Yeah, right. You see?
Lalabella though. This is for my Ethiopia, because they just celebrated Christmas yesterday, right?
All right.
In Ethiopia. You gotta go there and talk to them.
Yes, right.
Yeah, so he be making his way out, you know, to those parts.
Yeah. So we need to learn more about that astrology. It's amazing. It's infinite. Your chart is infinite as well.
You know what I'm saying? And it's time to teach. You know what I mean?
Well,
and I think that society has supported enough of this narrative with enough of the things that have gone on that we got so much ammo, you know what I mean, to restock, retool, and come back, you know what I mean, with these teachings.
And I would say that even the fact that we're on a 10-year anniversary to celebrate what the bookmark of what took place between the first time you was on our first show. Remember, it was you and Dr. Phil Valentine. Our part 2 is going to be with Valentine. This is our part 1 with you, where we're going to go over the first part of our show, and then we're going to deal with when Dr. Valentine called in. We got into that metaphysical conversation. But the fact that we're chronicalizing not just Red and Blue Pills teachings, but Sister Raz Mariah Bays, Brother Taj Tariq Bays, Brother Ms. Raim's teachings, you know, so many people who's affiliated with the network, you know, the fact that in this...
Brother Asir, remember? Asir Duke Tears,
that's right. His consistency, you know, what he's been able to do. Brother Sharif Anil Bey, you know, it's so many people. Brother Nature, it's so many people,
Nature, right? Grand Chief Nature.
Brother Abdul Mosley Bey.
Yeah.
Mr. Etymology, who at first the information was so...
Remember when he was talking etymology, that was not even a word that's part of people's regular lexicon.
You know, the resistance to his etymology talks, the pushback that he received just for saying that words are not what they were taught it was, was enormous.
Yeah.
They taught him tooth and nail when he first came out because nobody knew what an etymology was. What?
Yeah.
You said black stand for what? That's for me. They was ready to call heresy on him. Having meetings with Pope Innocent.
As Drew Ali prophesied, the European is out here whooping these boys' heads, telling the truth on them, and they like,
oh, isn't that interesting? He said they're gonna tell the truth.
The Trump presidency is a fulfillment of like 10 Noble Drew Ali prophecies. Just the Trump presidency. Just what you seen. Nah, I'm dead serious. Just what you seen in the Trump years. He finished like 2 pages of prophecies just with him.
Yes.
So what we're speaking about is the this date that's coming up, right? Like Blue is saying, the celebration is Jubilee date, this victory lap, right? And it's dealing with teaching. And here we are giving y'all the receipts, giving the people the backstory, giving people the contextual context of the foundation in which, you know, not only we stand on, but so many people. Wait till we get to running down the different names and the different shows and giving you the dates and you know.
Right. So when people want to know, you know, why didn't y'all topple over like everybody else's? You know, we never even seen the fire coming out of your skyscraper. What happened? We built our foundation with mama first. You understand? We didn't do it backwards. We did it the right way.
That's
We
right.
built our foundation the way that we set our square up. You know what I mean? Our additional foundation. You know, we followed the heart, the cornerstone, and we put mama first. You dig what I'm saying? Nobody else ever did that. And they all came toppling down.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective and a
Too much
truth
male
right
energy.
there. That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
we
Yeah.
we initially struck a balance, and that core, like I said, it was all going according to cosmic dictates.
Yes.
I didn't do nothing but listen to the cosmos. Okay, that's what we got. All right, boom.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. We always was following our cosmic initiatives and orders and directions and directives, and that's why we're still here. And you know, there's a level of relevancy. I don't want to gauge my own quote unquote relevancy. I'm just saying that we're saying things that cut through the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And you know, for me, it's 20 years later. For me and Red, it's 10 years later. I've been here for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen all of these conversations progress into the conversation of the day. And what I'm telling you is that there still is an opportunity to seize the narrative because
Well,
it has played into our hands by way of prophecy. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And you can't
And
wrestle with that.
No, you cannot. And that's what's interesting. And when you see them unveil right before your eyes, like, oh, all right.
You're
And
like,
that's
wow,
what we see. Yeah.
for
fill that
me,
in. So we got to probably do an updated documentary.
Yeah.
Would you
All
like
right. Well, listen, thanks for having me on. And I want to just take this opportunity too. There is this, you know, because like I said, I haven't been behind the camera in a minute. I will be later. But there is a brother, they did this presentation in Kingdom Land, I believe, the Marvel. Oh yeah, it's called not Marvel Comics, but Morvel Comics, and they have 7 people, and that they dressed up to say Captain Maxim, I think they call it, which is Dodge. And they got Nature in there, they got Hakeem Bey, and they have different names, and they have me in there. This just came out, the only woman under Storm, and so. I think it's Sheldon McKenzie who drew that up and put that presentation together. And I just want to say I am so honored to have been in that after this 20 years or over 20 years. I just want to say I'm honored to be in that.
I would love to observe that. So please
Well,
put us
maybe I'll shoot it to you, Miss You, right? And I'm also as honored to have been on this, invited on this platform with you.
Yes.
Keep doing what you're doing. I'm telling you right now, after the 7th year, I'm like, I'm quitting and I'm trying to do divine numbers. Okay, order is here. I'm gonna leave New York. I'm done. And then it's like, no, the universe was like, no. Then next thing I know, it's 8 years. It went right past. Then it's the 9th year. And I'm like, oh no, this is completion. I'm done. I'm done. You may have heard this conversation with me right there at New York. And then next thing I know, the 10th year goes by, and I'm like, oh, no, we got to stop. Then it's the 11th year, and then the universe said 12 is the cycle. So it's...
like you said, you just listening to cosmic, divine order and being obedient.
Yes.
You understand? Nothing more, nothing less. So the glory is on to you. The glory is on to us. The glory is on to whoever decides that they want to listen to the dictates of their mother and the father and do their incomplete works. That's what you hear.
I'm glad you two are still there. You're right. You're on the right foundation. I'm really pleased to see you there. And we'll be inviting you to our platform again, of course. And I'm always honored when you honor me I honor you as well,
One is
always and forevermore.
when I see you, I see my mother.
Peace.
So it
Yes.
is
How
very
is
much
your mother?
She's
doing
great.
amazing.
She's good. All right. All
She,
right.
and she
Well,
sends her respect and her regards as well.
and I send mine back to her. And I know at one point we were trying to get together to have her come even there. But remember that this thing happened right before. I know now is right before they were trying to make new schedules, and really, obviously, somebody was trying to sell that building or whatever they were doing. We didn't necessarily know. Yeah, and they cut us back to only twice a month, and then we were like, oh, all right. And then it ended up being they wanted us to be back, the whole 4 times once a week. We were like, nah, we're good with this now.
Audio, audio.
And it not continue to be what it really is in honor to the arts. That would not be a good thing, but you know, it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Said as always, thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for everything that you
Peace
have
and
done,
love to you both.
everything that you're doing.
Thank you. All right.
High honor. All right.
High honor to you as well. Congratulations. Keep going until the universe tells you when.
All right. Peace. Peace.
All right. Peace and love. All right.
Peace, y'all.
All right, cool.
Let me remind you.
You should go.
This shit magnesium right here, right?
Yes, magnesium.
All right. Yo, peace,
Yo.
Pills. You there?
Yes,
That's
sir.
okay.
Yeah.
You got your phone. Oh, I guess you want to watch the rest. I don't know what's good. But
Delay
yeah,
on
bro.
it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, fam, I just wanted to say thanks to y'all, man. It was good for us to both be back on
Yeah,
this.
that's how you do it, man. My son. You know what I'm
You
saying?
already know. Hey, and on that note, I'll say this. Through 2019, substantively, I think I've been through my most Masonic experience. And I say that not in the fact of being initiated through the lodge, but actually utilizing the tools that we use in the workshop of the mind. I sent Red a picture. I told him why I ain't have everybody's number, but I sent Red a picture of the wall I was using concrete or mortar to, spread with the trowel to make a more secure wall for the venue that we have now. You know what I mean? And I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for my mother's legacy. And that's why I say even getting familiar with those tools this year, or excuse me, the past year, 2019, precisely, that was a very Masonic year for
That's right.
me, including what
You
the
became
aspect you
the
was just,
builder, literally.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And yo, shout out to Red too, man, because well, actually both of y'all, but
Right.
y'all hit me up and I'm like, yo, this is a excellent way to start off 2020 because it was you, Blue, who pointed out to me that I was actually born on the 44 because you was big on the number 44.
Still
But
am.
half of that is 22. I was born 422. And
Oh yeah, you a
yeah,
resonator.
big facts, you know what I'm saying? And you
Builder. 22 is a master builder.
but hold on.
Okay, I'm jumping.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. You there with it, but this is what this year represents.
Yeah.
But
This year is four. It's a 4 number and it's a 22 number.
it's
So this yeah.
all year, you know what I'm saying? And it's like actually all decade, that 222 is gonna be heavy. But I always salute you for pointing that out to me about those master numbers because you was always as far back as I can remember, even when I was just coming into I'm like, 44, whether it had seemed to be a theory at first, it has proven itself to be fact and you've been emphasizing that for over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for a big fact though, 2020 is definitely a master number. And I'm looking at it like You know, if we broke that down to the daily mathematics, that's wisdom. And I think that even with where our people are today in their arrogance, and even what you were saying and starting off the show about, you know, the heavy opposition towards Moors, I think that one of the concepts our people's always confuses knowledge and wisdom, like they're the same. Like Negroes will read a little bit of literature and swear they know something, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But the wisdom is another level. You understand what I'm saying? And it's nothing against reading anything, but sometimes we don't understand that wisdom and knowledge is different. And we in the days of wisdom, meaning that if you could go back 10 years and you had knowledge, you have to be in the days of wisdom at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean? No matter what calendar you're using. So
What calendar?
yeah, you know what I mean? And it's just a wisdom year, you know. So yeah,
Right.
man. Always salute to y'all for being on the numerology and looking a little deeper into certain things as far as this basic information that's gonna enlighten and uplift our people, you know. And salute to y'all for even knowing about Moors for over 10 years, you know. A lot of people just
Yeah.
found out in this past decade that just closed out because this was the social media explosion.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
They got
and when you
introduced
look
to
back in
social
the
media.
history books, this is going to be the year where it was like, oh yeah, social media is competing with regular media on the regular, you know.
Is a fact.
God.
Yeah, big fact. So, you
God.
know, these everything is dealing with numbers and math, and you know, y'all brothers have been on that for years. So salute to y'all for that, man.
Oh, give thanks.
Good
No
things. Did
doubt.
you see what we about to do with numbers in this next endeavor that we have, where we're gonna use the numbers to similar to how they were being used in Harlem in the Roaring Twenties.
There you
You know,
go.
they were using numbers and they were using the number of people. They were using the just the fact the more the merrier.
Yeah,
And they made that a formula, and that formula worked for them. So as industrious, illustrious Moors in the new Roaring Twenties,
yeah,
I'm on my Roaring 20 swag for this one. I'm on
Yeah.
my 100 year.
Or yeah, I'm on my soaring 20s.
Yeah, I'm on my soaring 20s. They done did the roaring. This is the soaring 20s. It's a 100-year bookmark to when the prophet laid it down. And I'm saying that people would try to compare teachers and whatnot, not giving credit to, timelines.
yeah, yeah,
Not giving any credit to timelines, but you can't put, yo, there was this teacher named Khalil Muhammad. He was more fire. He was doing more than that guy, Malcolm X. No, brother. They
yeah.
one preceded the other. One was influenced by not the other way around. Malcolm X was not influenced by Khalil Muhammad. He did not know that man. All
Right.
of his cloth was bespoke.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He was getting it. He introduced a certain he introduced a certain energy. He introduced a certain imprint. Not to say that there wasn't no El Malik Shabazz before him, but I could see the influence that he had on those who came after him. And that's the same way when we talk about the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I know that prior to him, the pen game, they wasn't giving it up like that. They weren't demonstrating like that, and they wasn't moving like that. Movement wise, nationhood wise, and then afterwards, I began to see nations rise, and I began to see different leaders adapt different principles and move with that as well and make big impacts. But even he said that he was the precursor to what? To others that would come after him.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
by bearing witness in 2020 to a 100-year dynasty that started in 1920, what I'm saying is that this is we have to make that known. We have to put that in the minds of the youth, especially because they're the ones who have 100-year legacy in front of them, right? They can clearly say, "Oh, I'm gonna be here for another 100." You know,
Right.
people in their 40s can't necessarily say that and believe it. It's about belief.
Yeah.
If you could believe it, then you can. If
That's
you really believe it, if many of us say, "Yo, nah, we pushing the 150," it's impossible for us to die in the genome. They broke the genome code. It's impossible for us to die at regular old age and the CRISPR is out. It's impossible, and they have quantum computers that are about to go link up. They're gonna have a quantum internet in 10 years. So we're gonna be able, I believe, if you believe that Elon Musk is gonna be riding the Cybertruck on Mars, I believe that we're gonna live to be 200. This is something I believe in my heart. And when everybody dies off who believe that they won't be 100, you and a few other people will hang on, and then one day y'all wake up and there's a breakthrough in science, and they now know how to extend life. Those probabilities exist.
It's not hard. Yeah, you just gotta figure out the telomeres and certain DNA things, and it's not hard to extend life. You know what I'm saying, with these breakthroughs that's taking place. So
yeah,
yeah.
And
Do
even
we believe? But do we all believe that though? Is that
that's
a belief system of ours that we're immortal like that?
Yeah. Hey, if I could add on, you know, it was not unnormal for people to live on average to 120, bro. Like on average, you know what I'm saying? Some of us today, forget what the statistics say. Some of us is not even planning to live past 60. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't even
There's
register.
certain of us that's scrambling at the age of 44 because we didn't see this shit coming. Like, oh shit, what do I do now? I live past 20. So
Exactly.
my
Yeah.
generation was not primed to being broke at 30, give a nigga the chills. Big didn't even make it to 30. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like we came from an era where 45 and 50, that wasn't part of the conversation. Because the
Right.
dude who was looking at that age was broke down and they was derelict. You was
Yeah.
trying to make your run and burn it up and you know what I'm saying, leave a lasting legacy and a legendary name that will outlive you. But you was damn sure didn't think that you was gonna be here to see it.
Because
Right.
at 18,
Hold on. So if we seeing Nana and them crack 120 and they had the you know the lard and the you know what I'm saying and the fat back for the for their diet, what happens to these babies now that's being born vegan and some of them will never touch contaminated meat or any of that stuff. You know what I mean? We don't
Yeah.
even know they can naturally live to 200 now, maybe. You feel
Yeah.
me? So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. The perspectives of what lies in front of us, we have no idea because think about what changed in this 10-year span, right? Think about all of the companies that came. Think about the explosion of social media. Think about how society has been terraformed. We lost 1 billion animals last week in a fire. Like,
Yo, that's crazy. But
framing.
yeah, that goes back to even what y'all started off with, reading the divine warning, you know, by the prophet to the nations plural. You know what I mean? And when he said that, you know, he mentioned earthquakes, you know, all types of natural
Yeah,
disasters,
yeah.
you
And we see
know,
it all.
but yo, while I'm on the platform with y'all, if I could take a moment to clarify this real quick, because some people be trying to tweak out on Moors about oh well, Moors think they sovereign and you know right to travel, etc. All this. I just want to say in that same divine warning that you read at the beginning of this broadcast, you know, in there it says that Noble Drew Ali said, you know, there's no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendment. And that's a
Right.
very powerful statement because if you read the 14th Amendment, in there it speaks about that, you know, those who are born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside, meaning that they're giving you two types of citizenships, none which are natural. So you're a citizen of the United States, and if you believe you live in the state of New York or the state of New Jersey, you're a citizen of the state of New Jersey. according to the 14th Amendment, though. And he was saying, nah, it's no need for this. So when Moors is saying, nah, if the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and we here on his born day, is saying there's no need for this particular amendment, then anything that comes with being born or subject to that jurisdiction doesn't apply to me either. That's not something Moors in the past 25 years made up. Like those are the lessons of Noble Drew Ali. So when you see Moors demonstrating or flexing their right to travel or whatever, they are in fact and indeed still following the lessons of Noble Drew Ali in essence, because he's saying none of that 14th Amendment applies to you. Not that there's not rules and regulations, but that was the point. So it's not like Moors are some radicals doing something outside of the lessons that Noble Drew Ali left. You know what I'm saying? They're just respecting them and have interpreted that and know how to operate in the world with that. But I would say this too. Um, just because it's your right doesn't mean it can't be violated. I wanted to say that because, you know, rights being violated is big business. No different than you can have a copyright infringement, whatever type of rights you talk, birthright infringement, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole industry and business that is staying in place by them being violated. So it's no different than somebody violating somebody, a natural person or a store or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And there's injury, there's loss. You know what I mean? But because of that, there's a whole nother process that takes place. Well, with that process that takes place of, you know, trying to bring so-called justice or remedy or whatever it is, there's a bunch of people who is being employed and sustain their life force off of that. So remind you, it's a business too for those on the other side to violate rights. That don't mean that you're not right. It just means that people are there to generate business and violate rights. That keeps a lot of people with jobs.
Let me
So
ask you this. Do you know
yeah.
anything about the Real ID Act? They're supposed to be going to effect October 1st, 2020.
Yeah. That's a very interesting conversation. That's something that I've even been, you know, looking into for some years. But what it shows me is because it's not new. It ain't like they just made it up this year. It's something that they've been trying to implement over the past years. I would say mainly, mostly all of last decade. You know, this is a 10-year plan that's about to go into implementation. Let's just say that roughly estimated up. It might be even more than that, you know, but it's about a 10-year plan that they have intended to initiate. And in that initiation, you have to think about, all right, so if they're talking about real ID, are you saying that all of these other IDs, whether they be, you know, driver's license, state ID, whatever, are those not real IDs? Because if these was real IDs, what would be the need for a real ID act?
Right.
If all of that was actually real identification. So, you know, these are things to think about. But again, it goes back to the 14th Amendment, which Noble Drew Ali, not R.V. Bey, not no other Moors. Noble Drew Ali was saying there was no need for these things. So, you know, that's something to really consider. Y'all look like y'all froze on my end, but yeah, you know, if those are the requirements now, like you can't, if by October 1st, 2020, if I got a valid driver's license in my pocket right now and I can't fly with it after October 2020, how real is that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How real is that ID if it's not going to be? Now, Moore's been traveling with their national identification cards for years. You know, some run into trouble trying to go out and in and out the country or whatnot. But I'm saying across America, it's a basic right. So I'm just saying if that's the case, and the indigenous people could still, you know, fly with their cards, but if you
Audio.
Hello?
Yeah, his audio went out.
Yeah, your audio. Your audio.
The audio went out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that, bro. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. I can hear you now.
Yeah, bet. Next time I make sure I set up in a different locale. But for sure, you know, that's the situation. You know, we got to be real with the subject of our identification, you know.
Facts.
Big facts.
Yeah, I mean, is there any conversation about any remedy dealing with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it an initiative that Moors are collectively speaking about? You feel me? Like, how does this play into the whole overall conversation?
Yeah, see that's the thing. You mentioned this at the beginning of your show. You know, yeah, it's a conversation Moors are having, you know, but sad enough, it's Moors that don't even agree with Moors when it comes to this issue of identity. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we could say, no, this is the proper identification. And then you're going to have Moors who are card carrying Moor Science Temple of America members who are going to say, no, this is the identification and we're citizens of the United States of America, according or USA, you know what I mean? Even though the prophet's divine warning clearly says that you're not, you know what I'm saying? This would be their mentality. So the conversation gets convoluted in the sense of where it's not even about the collective, but it's about more so where do you stand as an individual, but knowing your nationality, like how are you going to maneuver with that? Because Moors for the past, I would say a lot of years, but 4 or 5 years precisely, it's like Moors are trying to knock each other's identity, and you're not a real Moorish American if you don't come through the Moorish Science Temple of America. And you know, you got to be with this Moorish group to be an actual Moor. When you know, when you look at the lessons of Noble Drew Ali, he clearly says the only reason that you're Moorish Americans is because you're descendants of Moroccans born in America, and that language is so precisely contrast to what the 14th Amendment says, because the 14th Amendment goes into being born in the United States, which is a difference between being born in America, because America is continental. The United States is only a portion of land colonials are operating on within America. So, you know, when it comes to this, Moors have substantive rights, but it's also a lot of Moors who don't even know basic geography to even try to come together and have that conversation. Real talk. Because you'll hear certain Moors say, well, you know, those Moors is in Canaan land or whatever, so they're Canadians. They're not Moorish Americans, but you know, the meantime, it's like, yo, Canada is a part of the continental North America. We just lacking knowledge of geography. You know what I'm saying? So until we got geography right, it's no way we're gonna master this earth plane because we don't even know where we at. No, real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk on this
Right.
planet.
They're having wild general conversations about America's, them, like even again, I because I'm what you think about the ADOS conversation?
Okay, let's
Okay. I can't hear you. Yeah, Google is like, are you finna go?
they don't want my opinions on this
Google
ADOS.
is like,
They don't want my thoughts on this ADOS.
So it's like, yes, he will.
Yeah. Y'all tweaking. Can you hear me now, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like how you feel, Ray. I'm an American descendant of sovereigns, bro.
That's
You know
it.
what I'm saying? like, but not slaves. You know what I mean? Because a slave is a Slavic, so you can't be an American according to the original definition and be a descendant of a Slavic.
Yeah, that's an oxy.
That's an oxy because you know, according to the word, the etymology, the definition of American, that's any one of the copper color natives found on the American continent by the Europeans.
That's all facts. That's all.
Right.
That's
So you can't be a American descendant of a Slavic. That makes no sense at all to me. You know what I'm saying? Which goes right back to why nationality is the key. I'm with the fight and the cause. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are old big time, but we just got to know that we're not going to get it as claiming to be descendants of Slavics, because that's not who we are. You know what I mean? Like when you claim descendancy, you got to be right and exact. You know what I mean? And a slave means Slavic. So, you know, if a European came to me talking about we fam or we tribe because I'm African, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be weird. You know what I mean? So when we're coming saying that we're descendants of slaves or Slavics, that shit is weird to them. It's like, then we don't really owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You claiming a name that's not yours.
so facts.
Yeah.
Once again, that etymology, you know,
Yeah.
word magic. Don't get mad at the messenger or the teacher. It's just word shit. I was mad when I found out. I'm like, damn, I wanted to be a slave. How dare they?
Right.
How dare they take that for themselves? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
then when I found out I was a king, and then I found out I was sovereign, you know, and then when I found out that I was indigenous, I understood what a Slavic was or a slave was. When I understood the role that we played, putting them in chains, you understand how we were selling them like birds. You know, when I got that, I understood what was going on. You know, when I understood, when I studied the battles that took place, and I read the edicts, and they said that we're gonna incorporate enslavement of the prisoners of war. We're going to put them in chains, and we're gonna ship them around. You know, we're gonna do to them what they did to us. And this was a back and forth thing going on, all the way as late as into the 1800s, and the Barbary Wars, the Barbary Powers, where they had mad Europeans in chains, going all the way into the Depression era in America.
Right.
Them Europeans, they came in that big European rush, and they didn't come and set up getting bread. They was working the goddamn soil. They were the Mexicans of that day. What are you talking about? And even on lower conditions than how Mexicans are treated.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yup. Yup.
That was a labor force. They were doing menial jobs. And they had landowners who were melanated, who they was working on their lands for them. And they were working in them people's houses and cleaning stuff up for them. What are you talking about? And during the Civil War, that's when shit flipped.
Yup. Yeah.
And when they was running with, they said they had Europeans howling, barefoot Europeans who were letting out these war cries that there was like banshee cries. You know what I mean? And you would know that they were coming. Who do you think some of these people were? You think they were slave owners? You know, they were many different parties, but it always, you know, the story is told from the place of somebody who you are expecting to tell you the truth. Like the hunter is going to tell the true story about the lion.
Yeah, like you're gonna ask a fish how to catch a fish.
You know what I'm talking about? Niggas is like, that's not what the hunter said. You like,
right?
All right.
Yeah.
Bro, you know.
Facts.
Why would they ever tell you that you were doing something that obviously they're becoming more powerful as to convince you that they were doing? They did not have the kind of power that they have now when you knew the truth about the real story. You knew who you were and you knew who they were. And when that was the case, mentally, when we understood that, these people were in their place. There was an order.
Yeah. Yo.
After they came with their onslaught of entertainment, and when they came with the literature, and then when they also pushed the narratives through what book is that? Nature Knows No Color Line.
Nature Knows No Color Line. A classic for any more. I don't care if you claim it black, Negro, whatever. This right here will put all of that in perspective.
Right. Catch up on your history.
Nature Knows No Color Line, J.A. Rogers. And don't get caught up because the woman on the cover is, you know, apparently light skinned. You see the features.
Amalgamate.
Yeah,
amalgamate. Got more books to show them?
Yo, I be going in, right? Yeah.
I know you do.
You know what I'm saying?
But, you know, there's students in the audience who they're good readers.
Yeah, they could benefit from these books, book lists.
That changed my whole. That opened everything up for me when I read it.
Bro, then we went over there.
Whew.
This one right here. Oh, my fault. Let me get my finger off his face. See, looking away from the European woman. But I'm just saying that for anybody who want to get clear about Moors in the world history, those is just a few.
When we went over there to the UK, it opened wide open for us.
Yeah. Oh man, I got some books on the other level. I could pull them out for you, but you know, I just.
Blackamoor. Your mic went out.
Damn, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I hear you now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I be studying everything though. I got the history of the Moorish Empire in Europe, volume 1, 2, and 3. You know, those is like thick books. I ain't gonna walk away to go get them though. I mean, unless y'all want me to, but
nah, you good.
Okay, yeah. Moorish history is very real. It's not something that, you know, a website made up. Like, nah, it's real. You can't know world history without knowing Moorish history. And I'd have to say that while we here on Noble Dry Lee's return, even though we are a couple minutes in, but this is Moorish American Week. You know, remember when a couple years back, matter of fact, it started like 2011.
Proclamations.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about, Red. You already know when they had to give it up all over America. You know what I mean? For Moore's true status here in North America, mayors, all of them had to acknowledge, you know, and it was a trend that just, you know, happened all over North America.
Yeah, it busts.
Yeah. So don't say that, you know, these groups of Moors is trying to say that they're sovereign. Go ask all of those mayors and all of them who said it themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Themselves.
Yeah, since y'all want to get so political, ask them.
And the pushback, the blowback came from the FOP and other people who were getting washed up in the social media.
Yup.
No, the blowback came from the PR. It was a PR cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, what did you start getting? You started getting the public executions and the police terrorism.
Put people back in a perpetual state of fear.
Right?
Utilizing iron and lead, utilizing Mars and Saturn to put you Leo sun principle niggas back in your place. So you won't think about the trajectory and the rise and this Christ energy. That's what happened. And it happened under them blood moons as well. So it amplified it because it acted like a lens. So it intensified it. You feel me?
So during the Leo's presidency, right? During this Barack Hussein Obama, a person who there were mad theories about his Moorish identity.
Right. And what did he do when he went to Egypt? Can we talk about it? Because people in the audience don't have a clue that this man went overseas and started talking about Moorish history on a national stage, and that's when they came for him and started enlisting Trump.
Okay, yeah, pardon me. Y'all went out for a brief second, But I heard you say something about somebody going overseas to Egypt.
Yeah, when we talk about Obama's presidency, when he went and made
Oh,
the address and he unveiled the Moorish information overseas, and that's when they came for his head and they commissioned Trump at that point in time to take him down.
yeah.
That
That
was
was that
right.
was a very big speech for Muslims, Moors all over the world.
That
You
was
know,
huge.
that was a huge speech, and people don't really understand, how big that was. That was Barack before he caught any gray hairs, fresh in the office. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
That was Morocco Obama.
That was
That wasn't
Yeah,
Morocco.
Barack. That was
exactly.
Barack Obama.
Yeah, big
And he
time.
showed
And
he showed his Moorish hand. It slipped for a second.
ASAP
It
though,
came
ASAP.
faster.
But it was nothing else he could do because, and this is why I be like, yo, man, these people be tripping when they try to say Moors aren't the original people of America. Because my question is this: if everybody's so First Nation and federally recognized, why is it that Morocco had to be the first nation to recognize the United States? If this is so-called Indian land, why did it take Moroccans to be the first? And y'all supposed to be first in Aboriginal and all of this to Americas and federally recognized. Why is it that the Moroccan, because remember, he said Morocco was the first nation. Remind
Mhm.
Went out. Audio. Audio.
okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I hear you now. Yeah.
All right, bet. Yo, that's crazy, bro.
You
I don't
said,
think they really want this on the platform.
yeah. You
Yo,
last thing you said is he said Morocco was a nation.
yeah. Morocco was the first nation to recognize the United States. So my thing is to all of those who are saying that Moors are not, first, why would it take the Moroccan nation to recognize the United States? But you got to keep in mind that nation doesn't mean country. So that doesn't mean that the Moroccan kingdom was the first to recognize the United States, even though it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I do now.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what to say, man. That's them acting up. Like, I don't know, bro, but yeah. So that's my thing. When Barack went to Cairo, that's what he said. Morocco was the first nation to recognize the United States.
That's a fact.
You know what I
And,
mean?
and Michelle went to Alhambra Castle,
Yeah.
the daughter
So
there.
if Morocco was the first nation, why not any of these so-called federally recognized tribes?
Hmm. I wanted to ask you next, what do you think about the the retooling of Moorish information on the internet that has stripped all Moorish references, you know what I'm saying, but still is teaching the history, like channels like Dane Calloway and the Aboriginal movement that was spawned out of that YouTube platform.
Okay, I want to be clear when I say this. All right, no disrespect to y'all, because I know more is in y'all giving situation. You know what I mean? More land. But as far as I'm concerned, and this is not a diss, this is just facts. Anybody talking about they Aboriginal and Indigenous, claiming a European name, I don't respect them. Like I respect research, but I don't take you serious enough if you're saying that we're Aboriginal Indigenous, but you still bearing, or not even still bearing, but still claiming a European name in essence, without showing any correlation to your indigenous roots, I just don't take you serious. I just seen another standard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that I know as a master teacher has gotten a proper person. Every freedom fighter that I ever heard of has gotten a proper person, from Malcolm X to to Harriet Tubman. You know what I'm saying? They all have had a situation where, in some way or another, they gave back or took on a new name, like in respect to their situation as claiming whoever it is that they were. Um, Anybody who hasn't actually given that back or has claimed, in a sense, who they actually are, I don't take them serious as far as being Aboriginal and Indigenous, because those are not Aboriginal and Indigenous names. I respect his research, but Callaway is not an indigenous name to America. So to me, that's a conflict all day. Like, you could talk it, but I don't think they live it. That's just where I come from. You know what I'm saying? All my master teachers, either in one way or another, have, claimed a free national name, whether it be Aboriginal, Indigenous, El Bay Day, Al Ali, something reflecting the Americas, or Al Morocco, the West. I just know that to be the standard. So I wouldn't esteem him as a leader, but maybe those are some followers who do. And I'm not mad at that. I mean, nobody confront the brother does great research, but the highest knowledge from my studies is the knowledge itself. And I don't see that, because even in the Circle 7, it speaks about, when you study, and ask what to study next, the answer would be to study yourself. I don't see a lot of people studying themselves. So I see a lot of knowledge, but no wisdom. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I came on, it's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. So, everybody want to claim that they know this and know that, but where's your wisdom at? Because wisdom would say, if you are Aboriginal, Indigenous, why are you still bearing and doing things under a colonial name? If you so American, if you so Indian, I don't know no Indians with Callaway or any of that. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, to me, y'all know the class I come from. That just does not register. And that's not to say that certain research isn't valid. It don't connect with me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe from the Instagram, YouTube, Facebook wave, that's wavy, but not for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe them. They might research, but I don't think they live that life for real, for real. Like, I never seen them challenging jurisdiction. We got videos of Moors challenging the colonial jurisdiction, standing on a square. Back to what you said, you know what I'm saying earlier, even with the Marrakesh Society, we got evidence of Moors going ham on the colonial operations. I don't see none of these so-called Indians or indigenes dissing Moors that have any evidence of going in on the pilgrims. None. You know what I'm saying? But yet they taking shots at other Moors. So for me, they just not real. I don't see nothing except for, I want to be your leader, God. That's just me. But all due respect to all research, there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, knowledge and wisdom is different. And this is a wisdom year according to my daily mathematics. So I'm not, not
Not
really,
jacking it. Right.
yeah.
I could dig it.
Right.
I hear a lot of information that I've heard before. It's just it's packaged in a way in which is consistent with the digital era. It's fancier packaging. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when I sat in on all the classes for decades and heard information, and Tariq Nasheed came and he was able to compartmentalize and package, that information in a way in which made it more palatable and digestive and attractive. Doesn't mean that the information wasn't out there.
Right.
Doesn't mean that there was nothing paradigm shifting. You know what I mean? We still sitting there waiting for the bomb. Like, all right, where's the punchline at?
Mm-hmm.
And be like, oh, I heard all this, but they didn't, and they weren't able to sit down in front of it and get it in a digestible format. I do I do like the way that homie edits and prepares and presents his information. Is almost like a movie.
Yeah.
Talking about Mr. Calloway,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it's definitely information that I've come across. You know what I'm saying? In my research and my studies, hearing other people disseminate. You feel me?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with his politics. I'm
Yeah.
familiar with his productions. I know in the beginning of his videos, he says, I'm here to make you think." And
Yeah.
I think that that's what the videos accomplish. They're very thought provoking. Um, like, it's a good iteration on information that's already been presented, and
Mhm.
it's the way it is being presented, like Blue said, in the industry standard. You have to always follow industry standard, industry trend, and
Yeah.
know what the standard is. And then when
Mhm.
people deliver things, and because at the end of the day, after Hidden Colors came out, everyone
Yeah.
else's 10 minutes to 30 minutes to 1 hour history, science, presentation was supposed to follow said standards. I could even hold myself to that.
Yeah.
know, then it's
Mhm.
supposed to have a narration to it. You could have used a little theme music. There could be some reenactments. There could be some, camera angles, double, things that you could just easily watch documentaries and say, this is the, going back to the word that we used earlier, model,
Template, right?
Mhm.
template.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
live in this digital era where it's about templates,
Yeah.
plugins,
So yeah,
drop.
so let's be clear. Yeah.
Yeah, but this what I'm saying. All of that is good. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I respect all information. It's not a personal attack. I'm just saying that his editing skills is different than what I was just saying. Like his editing skills is A1. I would give him that all day. I'm just saying that when we are claiming to be Aboriginal Indigenous, one of the key things is to give back colonial names. This is what I've seen as a standard, even with so-called Malcolm X, when he went and made his Hajj, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz is what he, got in his proper person as. Even when they try to say, well, Noble Drew Ali was Timothy Drew. Okay, well, he gave that name back and came as Noble Drew Ali. You know what I'm saying? This is a substantive right. And people take it more so like, oh, well, I'm going to expose his real name when this is what all the true freedom fighters did. You know what I'm saying? And I see that as far as I'm looking back, I don't recall any of the excuse me, so-called Indians or Aboriginals of America who were Moors bearing names like that. So I'm saying if we in the times in the days and times where we're going to be who we are or who our ancestors were and operate how they operated, then I do believe that, getting in your own proper person is something that is a prerequisite just from where I come from. Like I didn't learn off the internet. I learned from original people demonstrating in real life like, yo, this is who I am. I don't even want your name. I don't even want to buy, sell, or trade in your name. So for me, understanding and seeing that as my standard, not off the internet, that's just something I personally look for. That has nothing to do with his editing skills. I give him that. That's great. You know what I'm saying? But when we come as Aboriginal Indigenous people, it's like, okay, well, there's a standard that goes with that. There's no Aboriginal Indigenous people of America who have names originally as John 3,000 years ago. You feel what I'm saying? Four or
Right.
5,000 years ago. So I'm just saying that when we claim that in these days and times, we need to be the living example of who they actually were and what type of names they bear. That's just my position on it. But that's not to discredit anybody's editing skills. Yeah, they're A1, But like I said, knowledge and wisdom is two different things.
Facts.
Facts.
Yeah.
All right, family. We almost going to the 1 a.m. mark. You know what I'm saying?
Word. Wow.
Yeah, it's you
Yeah,
know, the good times roll, they say. You feel me? And
yeah,
this has been a very impactful, wisdom packed episode. You know what I mean? And I don't want to infringe upon a great thing that has already been done. I don't want to make it, you know, a overkill. You know
Yeah.
what
right,
I mean?
right.
Already a lot for them to digest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, big facts. So yeah, salute to y'all, man. For 10 years in, you know what I mean? Y'all brothers have been a big part of the journey that I experienced even up there in the city and whatnot. You know what I mean? You brothers going 10 years strong is an achievement. Y'all didn't stop. Y'all won't stop, I'm sure. And I'm just glad to be a part of that, man. In 2015, when I first released the first piece of literature I compiled, it was small, but the same day you had me and my mother on is the same day my book was released, both of y'all. So, you know, to be back 5 years later for me is a personal milestone as well. And I want to give a big shout out and thanks to y'all for even coming on my on my platform and giving
Yes.
y'all knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. As you know, and as I try not to do, you know, our platform, my platform has never been about dissing people. If I'm asked, I'll give my honest opinion, but we was able to have many builds without having to diss anybody.
We had some
Just
classic bills. We had
Yes,
some
some
classic
platinum
bills.
builds.
And you were honorable in your
Yeah,
business transactions because you
big
came with
facts.
honorarium. That's something
Yeah,
that's something that I don't experience in all of my tapings and filmings and my So
yeah,
yeah, yo,
Value. They don't put value to the bill. You know what I'm saying? They don't honor what they're about to receive.
yeah,
They
big
go
facts.
along with the cloth, right?
I was able to leave our bill with real value in my heart and
Yeah,
with currency value to be like, yo, he's giving value to our bill, to what I have to say, and that's
yeah,
honorable. And so when I see when you put the video up, just me watching it is something that I feel satisfied with, because I'm like, yo, I really delivered.
yeah,
I want to say that the growth that I seen in you in 10 years is something that's honorable as well. And it goes
right,
without saying that we have to let you know that your growth and development, and
Yeah.
the fact that you were instrumental in many things in this movement and whatnot, you know, and you saw it all as well.
yeah,
You know where the bodies are buried. You know,
yeah,
you being there for your Umi,
yeah,
holding her down, being the mufti, what I'm saying, from day one, uh,
yeah,
and just keeping order, I'm talking about, and also being the voice for the youth,
yeah,
because I know that ride home to Jersey, that ride home,
yeah,
you were there as the voice of the youth to quell a lot of things that were confusing. They were coming from, they were youth centers that were firing rockets sometimes,
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
it's a good thing, man. So keep pushing, keep doing, keep building, keep the institution going, open up an institution. I want to see a legacy center for, RV Bay Publications, one
yeah,
of these,
A
one of these
library, yeah.
libraries, and one of
Library.
these
you got,
affordable melanated towns, and one of these jurisdictions that can easily, be collect, because remember, a standard has been set by a young brother in Georgia, in Atlanta. There's many standards or many examples, but they're new in 2020. Wisdom. You know, now it's time to build. Now it's time to build. You know,
The
mm-hmm.
active
now
principle. You know what I'm saying?
active principle. So
Action on top of
Christian,
action. Baby on baby.
baby on baby. So Blue was able to see it, and whatever Blue sees through his eyes as Morpheus, he could give birth to. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
through the Tahuti, or through the voice, that's where I come in my aspect. We give birth to these ideas. So Blue has already witnessed it, and this
Yeah,
is what the next phase is. you know, the fact that the National Black Theater was the first phase, but the next phase is no one can tell you when to leave your building. No one can tell
Yeah.
you what day to
Hey,
come and set up.
hey,
Nobody,
yo.
no one can have control over that in this day and age, because as an owner, as a true sovereign, you know,
Yeah.
you will own your centers, you would own your buildings, you would have, you know, there would be institutions.
Yeah. And you can't be scared to put in a little bit of work. But I remember telling you, Red, that on the last day, on the day we did the last class in Harlem
Yeah,
at the theater, I said, yo, this is just halftime. You know what I'm saying? 12 years, I'm looking at the total of a 25-year run. You know what
fact.
I'm saying? And not even just there, but even beyond that. But from a 12-year run to where we at with it now, I would say that halftime maybe being that 1 year, man, a lot is shaping up. You know what I'm saying? And I would definitely, I look forward to being able to share, you know, when we're going to be doing different events. You know, the community is great where we at now. You know, is vegan food very close by. If y'all ever do swing through, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if you vegan. If not, you know, there's another Moorish restaurant down the street that serve everything you want. Fried chicken, fried fish, you know what I'm saying? I'm not promoting any of that. I'm just saying we in a
No,
location.
They still on it though, so you know you got to
Yeah, you know
make
what I'm
sure that you
saying?
cover all bases. I learned that. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got it all.
Big facts. But yeah, when we ready, we definitely I would love to come back on. I'm sure my mother would too, and maybe give an update in about February on what's really good. You know what I mean? Because we getting there. You know what I'm saying? And
well, look, yeah,
yeah, so I would love for y'all brothers to all be a part of that and everybody listening.
we'll be doing these celebratory shows for our 1 year anniversary for 1 year. So
Okay.
it starts today and it
Okay.
ends it ends January 8th, 2021. You know,
Yeah.
so this will be the the new forum that we'll be doing it in vlog versus pod. You know, it'll also be taped as a podcast, available on Anchor and available on our app. You'll be able to hear the audio via podcast, but we're going to be bringing on our alumni, our illustrious, industrious alumni, the
Okay.
KTL, the pantheon of gods and goddesses. For the ones who are no longer here, who were patrons of the show and guests of the show, and part of this our legacy, Dr. Sabi being one, Dr. Delbert Blair being another frequent guest. Rising power to all of these ancestors, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. Um,
Yeah.
you know, there's a few others.
Yes.
But for the one, we'll be replaying some of those shows, rebroadcasting them for the family who's never heard these powerful shows, and we're gonna do
Right.
follow-up shows with some of our top guests throughout the year. So look forward to that, family. I need y'all to tell a friend to tell a friend. Whenever you see these Know the Ledge radio broadcasts, you know, just know the history is being made.
Big facts, y'all. All right.
No doubt, bro.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Salute to y'all, brothers. Good to check in with y'all. 2020, Gregorian year at that, but the numerology never lies. You know, y'all brothers stay up, man. I'll see
Indeed.
y'all again soon, man.
All right. Salute to you, God. Peace,
No
love, and light.
doubt. Peace, nobles.
Peace.
Oh yeah, let me say this too before I spin out.
Oh yeah.
Yo,
Hit me with the RV Bay.
yeah, of course, rvbaypublications.com. But yo, thank y'all, cause I think this my first live on the joint, yo. I hardly be going live like that, but yo, I was about to record something and y'all hit me up. So salute to y'all.
Indeed.
Absolutely, God.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah,
an honor.
RV Bay Publications. Pay attention. RV Bay 2020 is coming soon. I know we here 2020, but we got a whole nother vision. Like you said, Blue, it's no challenges this year. As far as the astro layout. So with the clear vision, clear view, we're gonna be rolling some things out. Definitely starting within February. And I appreciate y'all brothers for being there. So I'll be in tune with y'all for sure from now on, bro.
Yeah, connect with us, King.
Yup, no
All right.
doubt. All right, peace to y'all, y'all. All right.
Should have been patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So it's been another monumental one. This feels like before. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It feels like before, which feels like the future. So it's customary.
Mm-hmm. It's a work in progress, you know.
Yeah.
It's a baby on baby.
Yeah. Sure.
But it feels like a deliverance, you know. It feels like a nice place to, you know,
Nice place to pick up where we left off, and
that's right.
we got some dope things coming. You know what I'm saying? It's no need to speak on everything because it's an active principle, like the brother said. Just stay on your active principle. Action, action, action. And for the people who want to activate that active principle, come through this Friday, 7 p.m. The location and everything will be delivered to you once you RSVP at 404-475-2602. I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm gonna say it two more times. 404-475-2602. All right, just give me a second, God. 404-475-2602. You know what I'm saying? And hold on one second. 404-475-2602. RSVP at that number during normal hours, business hours, 9 a.m. to 5:06. You know what I'm saying? But that's going down on the 10th. It is a 2020 vision board party, free CBD infused foods, free product sampling, free CBD massages, power networking. This is going to be hosted by Lisa Nicole Cloud. She is Miss Millionaire Maker. She was responsible for making 30 people millionaires in a 1 year period. You know what I'm saying? She is the ace maverick of network marketing. All right. Google her if you need to. This is not play. You dig what I'm saying? So don't miss this opportunity because you could get in the building for free and get all kind of free game. You know what I mean? So I expect to see you there if you are in the Atlanta area. Pull up this Friday. All right. And yeah,
That's peace.
Third Eye Thursday. We coming to New York as well. We'll announce all of that information in in a short period of time. You dig what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But it's so much, just so many opportunities, there's so much abundance. You feel me? This is so our time. Do not get
Yes.
distracted. You know what I'm saying? Don't participate in, and none of this side conversation that has, it's like minding your ear hustling in the wrong conversations. You paying attention to the wrong circles. Like mind your business. Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Turn your mind into your business. Feel me? Get into the business of your mind,
That's
right?
facts.
It's where your goal is at. All right. And that's a perfect segue. Tonight's episode is sponsored by goldwater.com. GOLDEWATER. Goldwater.com. Peace, love, and light. Come on, you're supposed to hit him with an outro yourself. I know you got something to promote.
I want to thank everybody for, pulling up tonight. This is the first episode, of course, of many that are coming. We have February 22nd in Connecticut. We're going to be presenting the Facts Initiative. Facts 2020 is going to be the first installment of our 2020 program. We're going to have a brother by the name of Trillionaire Trav, who is a master in the network marketing field, also in sports betting field, also in Forex. We have our other brother Heru, who's in Connecticut doing some monuments. Yeah. He's on the radio doing some great things. Of course, brother Blue Pill in the building, brother Red Pill as well. And we'll be building on food, art, clothing, technology, and shelter, finances, arms, trade, culture, strategy. There's going to be many things that we're going to get into, and I highly encourage anyone in the Connecticut area to come to.
Cambodia still going to be there?
No, I think he has another engagement that he's going to be booked for. So I look forward to the family coming out 2/22/20, master numbers. So it's going to be a masterful day. Go on our pages, Blue Pillar 44, ELL Filthmore on Instagram and Twitter, and you'll see the information. Follow us on this YouTube channel. Follow us on the social media so you can stay updated and you can be informed when things are taking place, because like Blue said, there's a lot of things taking place. This is the soaring 20s. There's always going to be something going on. You know what I mean? This is going to be a very busy year because this year is wisdom. So keep up with us, pop up, pull up if you're available. kingscounty.bigcartel.com. We're rolling out a whole collection by the end of the week. There's some new pieces on deck. We're looking for some designers. I'm opening up 2020 to allow new designers to come in to collaborate with the brand. So hit me up on Instagram, on the DM, and hit me up in the email. One of the best offers that we also have coming into 2020 is an offer that I have a video that I put up today where I'm offering the family the ability to add an income stream to the streams that they have already and make some money just right off of your phone, right from your home. I almost made $1,000 in 2 days, both off of referrals and just by doing these surveys. Easy money, very easy. But it's like a video game. So there's going to be ways that you're going to have things you got to get around. You got to know how to play it. So hit me up. The link will be in the description box, and you'll be able to click on it and sign up and do more research. Go on YouTube, go on Google, do the research on all of these things. And, let's get it. This KTL empowerment, you're going to be seeing more KTL empowerment programs rolling out throughout 2020. There's a lot of opportunities. I just want to let y'all know that. You hear that? That's that's the verification. There's a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of windows opening. This is a global existence that we are living in right now. Please think globally, think galactically, but entertain global business at this point.
Facts. Year to return, they did 1 point something billion in Ghana.
Woo. Pulo. Remember we said 4 corners. We said we're going to connect the 4 corners and we're going to make this box. Going back to what I was saying earlier, Blue is talking about the sun being in the box, and the Young Boy's song called "The Box" is holding down the #1 spot for Roddy Ricch.
Oh, my dude.
Pulling in the stick in the box. Yeah, that's the #1 song. That is going super ham, on the charts.
Yeah, the box. I seen it when he threw it out. I was like right on time because he did it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That we were still in we was in Saturn when that album came out.
That's a fact. So what I'm saying is, symbolically speaking,
using the box.
It you know, it is about connecting back to the continent. These rappers that are going back there and getting the dual citizenships and going crazy on their Twitter and whatnot, they see what anybody with some bread is going to see. They see opportunity. They see a whole new market. They see the 1,000 fan theory really kicking in, you know, and they understand through what they're seeing through gentrification and living in America long enough, they understand a smidgen of the capitalistic game.
Right, real estate.
And real estate and fertile land and all of these things, they get it. They understand, yo, we could fly some Mexicans over here.
Whoa.
You know what I'm talking about? Or we could get some Africans, a few dollars, and we could live like real kings.
Ooh.
And pull up. Don't let us get rights to a diamond or a gold mine. Don't let us jug for that. Because you know they're going there to jug. And I want to be there to see it. You know what I'm talking about? You think I'm going to shut myself out of this one? It's a movie about to take place. They going to Nollywood. You know, there's going to be some investments taking place. People are going to start putting money into things that people are, you know, just don't be.
Yeah, you frozen.
Saying earlier, is how far your mind can expand. That's going to determine.
Yeah. Look, yeah, we're gonna follow this up Third Eye
Yeah.
Thursday. I'm coming through there
Tomorrow. All right, yeah, Third Eye Thursday. We'll follow this up. Let's do it.
You already.
All right.
All right.
No doubt.
Oh.
One.